Ladies and gentlemen, welcome everyone to OCE PUBG Series 5. My name is Chunks. I will be your host for the evening, and everything is breaking already. My camera isn't loading. So let's just take a look over at the Twire leaderboards to see how things are looking right now. And I gotta say, honestly, Team Fury just absolutely tearing away down in first place at the moment. Definitely a strong squad to be watching for this evening. We saw them pop off yesterday. Let's see if they can carry it over. Bearing in mind that half the team, I believe, were competing in PUBG Spark Series just a couple hours ago, so these guys are absolute grinders, to say the least. Let's see if my camera's gonna load. Of course it isn't, because everything is broken today. Let me try and fix that. There we go. Welcome, everyone. No, it's broken again. It is broken again. Well, typical. All of my stream stuff is broken at the moment, so it looks like we're not having any camera today. Apologies about that. But at least it lets us focus in over on the leaderboards. Fury out in first at the moment, 55 points for second place. That's going to be Bizarre Gaming. Thrust with 47. Spectral and 36 Cartel, each tied with 40 apiece. TNG with 38. Team Bliss with 37. VIP with 32. Sorry, I'm just gonna see if unplugging and plugging in my webcam fixes it, but I got a bad feeling about it. Never mind, we fixed it. Oh, typical, isn't it? Typical OCE, day number 2. I don't know what's been going on with all the technical issues, but hey ho, we got that all fixed now. Game number 1 of the evening. Here we go. We're getting it started with a bang. Right now, I would typically love to do like a proper introduction and everything, but with all the tech issues, I'm just happy that we can actually see the game. I am having to do my kind of jerry-rig solution again that I had to pull off yesterday. A new capture card is on the way, however, so apologies about that. I have no idea what's going on with my capture card, but another one has been ordered, even though it did sting the wallet a bit to see it come through. It appears that maybe, I'm trying to figure out what's going on. I tried to figure it out yesterday. Apparently it's in use by another application, so I'll try and get that one figured out. But either way, I just bought myself a fancy new capture card, and I just want to flex that for a minute. It's game number 1, circle number 1, and we're going to have it popping in 30 seconds. The playing path is going to be pretty far to the south. We're going to see if anything happens over towards Hacienda again, as yesterday we saw a lot of fights kicking off over there. Tchaikovsky, however, taking the first shots of the game here. Wait, is this a... Okay, that is just a spectator bug that says Jamguchi is inside this compound. If someone could please clip that, that would be awesome, because I have reported this to PUBG Corp already, so any clips would be helpful. And circle number 1, we saw something kind of similar yesterday where it ended up over around this hillside. We'll see what we get out of this, as half the circle already going to be down in the water, so team's going to have a very, very rough time out of here. And what a way to start the day. First, we get the technical issues with the stream. Now we're getting map glitches as well. Just typical, isn't it? Youngbloods here are going to be making a bit of a rotate through past 36 Cartel. We do see Unique just chilling on the back of the vehicle. As 36 Cartel going to continue heading in over towards Hacienda here to try and loot up. They shouldn't be challenged too much, as Youngblood's going to continue to head over to the east here. But I mean, these teams are rotating up to the north to try and loot up. They still have to move hard down to the south to be able to make it into zone here. So that's going to be a bit of an interesting one for them, to say the least. As for the time being, you know, nothing really kicking off. Teams, they're all used to each other now. They played against each other all day yesterday. Wouldn't really expect too much to come out. One thing I do have to kind of think about, could be a bit spicy though, is when we hop over to a Wrangle. We have 300 and Fury both landing near each other, whether we're going to see anything carry on from that. As Viha right now from 300 is going to be looking down this hill over towards Butts from Paradox. He saw the vehicle pulled up, but he hasn't been able to get line of sight on towards the player yet, as Butts is just going to be looting up for the time being. Viha keeping an eye out as best as possible, but nothing really spotting. There he is. Now he spots the head. Waiting while Butts decided not to take the shots just yet. He was standing perfectly still. A perfect target almost, but deciding to wait until Butts is about to hop into that vehicle now. Butts, for the time being, just going to be looting up. Not a care in the world. No idea that Viha is right above, ready to cause some big issues for him, as the rest of 300 over towards Monte Nuevo could be a bit concerned about Team Bliss off to the north that still have a bit of a way to make it in. And I gotta say, it's pretty interesting here, seeing a player like Viha deciding not to take the shots just yet, as Butts now will hop out of the building. Into the vehicle he goes, and yeah. That is just what happens when you wait too long. Butts was standing perfectly still in that window earlier on, and Viha, unfortunately, not taking the shots when he had the chance, waiting until he got into the vehicle, thinking it would be an easy kill. But unfortunately, not going to be the case, as we did see Youngbloods. It's actually going to be Champs hits the mini shot to take down Rain. Hef again, the flush on towards it. They get the first kill of the game over on towards Rain from Team Bliss now. So Bliss are keeping an eye out. We see Monty already keeping an eye out. He's finally changed the spelling of his name. Finally. It only took like a year of me complaining to him. He finally changed it so it actually says Monty now. I'm very, very happy about that. He will be scouting out with the Mini 14 for the time being, just keeping an eye out, knowing that Youngbloods have players over towards this. And this is the danger when you have one of those drop spots down towards Hacienda or something and you get a really southern plane. Youngbloods were forced to kind of switch things up here. Down on the southern side, we do see Husey from TNG is going to be taking this position that, I mean, it worked out for them yesterday, it has to be said. They managed to take the south side of this road, and I forget who it was. I think it might not have been, I think it may have been Bazaar, actually. I'm trying to remember who it was, but it was one of their teammates was able to play this zone till the very end, play this little ridge, and actually get a second place overall with a decent amount of kills, so it's going to be a good one there for them. As Viha, oh, that is unfortunate. He tried to take the shots over on towards Butts earlier. Now Jakovsky, returning the fire, takes down Viha. The rest of 300 are going to be moving in towards this position as Neff deciding to move on foot. Head kick making a bit of noise in that Murado. I'm not sure whether it's intentional, but it's definitely working out. As Jakovsky just struggling to hop into the window for the time being. Is going to go for the spray on towards head kick, doing some big damage. But that Murado, it's hard to connect the shots through those little windows, as the bullets will come out here with the Mini 14. It's going to be Nefaher moving in from behind, gets the knock, and the flush. Down goes Jakovsky. That's a 1-for-1 trade here. And the rest of Paradox all the way over to the east. We could potentially see Killer Roo moving in here to try and take a couple shots, but I wouldn't really expect anything huge from Paradox. They don't want to be committing onto a fight this early, but honestly, you've traded 1-for-1 at this point. You may as well try and get at least 1 point advantage over it, as Cherry now will be opening up down on the southern side, connecting on towards Jonas from Big J. So the fire will be getting returned on towards him. Nothing too much to worry about. He has the hard cover to work with for the time being. But up on the northern side, the player we saw 300 taking the shots at earlier is going to hear Bryn moving through on the bike. Decides to just chill for the time being, but it appears that Bryn maybe spotted him. He's scouting out. He's got the M4. Definitely seems to think there is a player around this area. He just doesn't know exactly where. As Butts now, bit of a rough position. The vehicle is going to be a bit of a giveaway, so Monty, ever so cautiously, the shots raining in from afar. As Butts moves around the side, spots out Monty, deciding not to take the shots. Rest of Bliss are going to be moving through now without too many problems. Voxic, however, also going to be going down here for 300 as Nefaher going for the seat swap on towards this. Knows roughly where Sands is going to be. Head kick deciding to switch the vehicle around a little here. Going for the turn as Nefaher with the seat swap takes some shots over on towards Sands, but the final stand working out here. Sands going to be able to get the knock on there and the flush as head kick getting the trade. Down goes Sands, flushed out as well. 300, they picked up 2 kill points off of it, but they've lost 3 players in return as Killer Roo also going to be going for the reposition on towards this. Wants to get some shots over to head kick, knows exactly exactly where he ended up dying, but for the time being, should be relatively okay. Head kick is still going to be behind this rock. Killaroo has to be cautious, maybe not realizing this here, as they are both out on the edge of the zone. They still have themselves a bit of time to work with here. Killaroo playing ever so carefully. His butt's going to be moving in from behind as well. He's playing prone. Head kick, he hears the vehicle. I'm not sure how much he really knows here in terms of the information. He's playing ever so carefully for time being. Flash will come out. Head kick aware now. Paradox have his number. They just don't know exactly where. Is Ace Gun going to be getting run over by his own teammate? Killaroo flexing around little by little, bit by bit. Knows where the player was previously. No idea just now. Head kick looking out for butts over this ridge. Ever so carefully. Killaroo not wanting to give any audio away now. Head kick. He's watching out. Will spot the head now. Butt's going to be opening up with some shots, but it's Killaroo from the side angle that takes head kick down low. Butts finishes it off with the scar, and there it is. Down go 316th position. Not the best performance from them, but you know, you got to say, Paradox, even though they lost 2 players, 4 kill points is going to make a big dent in the leaderboard here, and it'll definitely give them the boost they need to start the game off. As now they do have Chumacera, but they have a long way to make it in, because this circle, with 2021 circles as they are right now, it wouldn't surprise me to see it pull hard down to the south. There's 67 here. They do have Furzy playing over on this hill. Need to be a little bit careful with 36 Cartel moving in from the north. Should be relatively safe, but Thrust maybe can't say the same. Beef will here player 4, rotating through, deciding to hold his trigger discipline, not taking the shots just yet. As the rest of 36 Cartel also going to be making their way down the hill. Beef, ever so cautiously, waiting to take the shots. Therefore, moving through, deciding to hold that trigger discipline because he hears that buggy coming through now. Is he spotted out by Asper? Isn't looking like it just yet. Surely player 4 should see this now, as 36 Cartel are going to be looking to try and get the pinch onto him. If they know where he is, they might not have even seen him somehow. Asper has no idea where this player is going to be, so Beef is getting out of here. Asper's looking out for it. Sasama also moving in, and I think they're going to be pretty good for the time being. 36 Cartel going to be chasing it in. As here we go. The circle has shifted down to the south. Nothing too surprising with the current circle settings we are going to have at the moment. Monty keeping an eye out here for Team Bliss. They did lose 1 player early, which is just, if anything, for a team like Bliss, going to fuel the fire and get them getting even more aggressive early on. Monty with the mini 14 shots, trying to land something from range. But nothing really working out. Basic also going to be rotating through down to the south as Big J deciding to opt further south this road, not wanting to worry too much right here. Circle is going to start moving up on the northern side. Youngbloods and Paradox are the only teams actually not inside Circle, which is kind of surprising. Team Process actually over on the east do have a couple players still not in, but I mean, wow, what a huge one right here for all these teams to actually be inside of the zone, or at least close to the zone early on in the game. Xing Xing, he's going to be keeping an eye out here, looking down towards Big J, landing 1 shot over on towards Basic, but he can't quite finish it. The long-range shot's not quite working out with that Mini 14. 6x, unfortunately, not really providing enough, and there it is, just a little love tap coming out from Heikeman there, reminding his teammate that he cares, you know, because that's important at the end of the day. Bryn gonna be going down here to Garfield as he does get caught out wide in the open. That leaves only 2 players left up here for Team Bliss. Textile and Monty, the final 2, which could leave some openings here 4 players to get in. Youngblood still chasing the zone in. They've got a bit of a way to go, and honestly, Trident could cause some issues for them here. TNG once again deciding to opt for the southern coast. It worked out for them yesterday. Why not try and run it back today? As two players remaining here for Team Bliss. Do need to be careful. Suspect actually going to be able to take Jakey down on the eastern side. He split off from the rest of his squad. Not going to be much use for him right there. 67 also going to be losing Tiger Foam as well, as they will be opening up. Subject Nest looking to try and get the heal. Bliss going to continue with the rotate through as Trident don't really have line of sights right now. However, Basic also going to be rotating through. Deja Vu should have some high ground on towards this vehicle if he so chooses to use it, but not going to be the case, as we do see auxiliaries moving in through the west. And wow, another shift down to the south here. A huge amount of water, so half the circle completely unplayable. We know it's going to shift up to the north in the next phase, but I mean, for the time being, not ideal. Not ideal for a lot of these teams. Fury still have to make it in, so to 67. And Youngbloods, we spoke about them being right on the edge of zone. They had a bit of a way to make it in as is. It is going to be rough for them. Big J, he sneaks up behind Ace Gun, but I'm not sure what just happened there. He doesn't finish off the shots. Deja Vu able to get the trade. Cold Mo for Big J, one of the 2 remaining players, takes down Ace Gun. Does he realize there's going to be more? Yes, he does, but he goes for the flush first. As now the fire getting returned on towards him. The rest of the team have a bit of work to do, as Basic now in a 1 versus 2 does get the knock on towards 1. The double headshot working out, takes down Shoe Horses, takes down a 3rd as well. Down goes Prog Dog as well. So now Heikeman, he hears these shots. Is he going to get involved on this? Not looking like it, as he decides to pull up over towards the compound. Big J have been able to pick themselves up a couple kills here. Invis, the final player left up here for auxiliaries, as Basic does open up with a couple shots. Heikeman sneaking up behind to try and get some trades. Smoke comes out, Basic caught on fire, and there it is. Invis going to be able to clean that one up right here. Heikeman, however, he hears the shots, and he's going to be leading the charge for Spectral to make it in. As he preps the nade, knows there could be players around here, just doesn't know exactly where he's going to be. Invis laying down prone right now after hearing that nade. That'll be a bit of a red flag, a bit of a warning sign coming out here, as Spectral maybe unintentionally making their position known, which means that now Viz, he just has to lay down prone, goes for the spray on towards Hilarious, but never mind. Down he goes. Auxiliaries eliminated down in 13th. The Spectral popping up, doing some big damage over towards it. They'll have this compound under their control now. And as the circle is likely going to shift up to the north, it's going to be pretty big for them. Paradox here, 5 kills. Trying to make it 6 as Xing getting knocked by Killaroo. Trying his best to do some damage onto this, but it doesn't quite work out just yet. He gets the knock, but the cliffside going to be the saving grace here for Killaroo. Sorry, for Xing, I should say, as he will be getting rest. Trident also have to move in from the north now, as Youngblood's going to be posted up to take the spray on towards this. I only loot bodies. Going for the spray on towards the vehicle as Heifer takes down Garfield from the side angle. Miller going to try and work over the top here, as I only loot bodies forced to pop for the heal. Nades will be flying over, but nothing huge really connecting, as Youngblood's forcing their players down the hill. The zone is going to make things rough. Champ's taking shots up the hill, maybe not realizing, however, Miller is right here. Miller gonna pop up over the top, has himself the AK, goes for the spray. The long-range shots do come in from Heifer, but he will be able to take down I only loot bodies on the way out. Jamguchi and Garfield, they made it into the circle. Champs pops up, takes down Garfield. Does he know where Jamguchi's gonna be? No, he doesn't. It's actually gonna be Snow that takes the fire over towards him. The nade comes out. Is it gonna be close enough? Not quite cooked long enough. The Molotov just a little bit overthrown, as now Champs needs to pop up off of this. 67, third party and on. They do take down Miller as Jamguchi from the side angle catches out Champ. Snow, the final of two of the final players left up. It's Snow and Jamguchi. Jamguchi popping up with the AK as Snow going for the heal for the time being. Smoke will come over. Jamguchi with the spray through, over on towards Heifer. He connects through it, and there it is. It's going to be Snow that picks up the knock onto it. Flashbang comes out. Unique still standing with I only loot bodies. One big nade could do the trick here, but it looks like Trident, they only really have some smoke, some flashes to work with. Furzy from range connecting on towards Snow with the SLR. Down he goes, leaving Jamguchi as the final player left up. Youngblood's relying on the smokes for cover. So we did see the circle pull up. No real surprises there. It does start to move. Jamguchi gets the knock on towards Unique. I only loot bodies, trying to pop off the heal and the revive, but it's not going to work out as Jamguchi with the AK. There it is. Trident Esports taking down Youngbloods in 11th position here. And this is just a horrible circle for a lot of these teams to work with, I have to say. As I mean, the circle, it will start to close in, but has a bit of a way to make it across as Killaroo going to be bleeding out on the other side for Paradox. And Husey, he's going to be able to spot him out. There it is. It's Cherry that picks up the kill. Down goes Butts. Down go Paradox in 10th position. And I got to say, with a circle like this, it's going to be a throwaway game for a lot of these teams. It's not really going to count as Mr. Clay takes down Jamguchi. And we're in phase 4. We've only got 27 people left alive. This is rough for a lot of these teams right here. Now, over on the eastern side, 36 Cartel, 2 players left up, do have themselves compound. Spectral starting to make their way in. Tiger Foam opens up, gets the knock on towards Flood for Fury. Fury should be able to get the revive off of this, however, without any real issues. Taking a look over at the circle, it will start to close in a second as Rodham making his way in. Flood going for the heal, Cow returning the fire. In just a couple seconds, the zone will finish closing in. Suspect here, he spots out Rookie from Team Process. Deciding just to play it slow for the time being. Doesn't want to engage just yet. Wicco also spotted out, but it is going to be Mirage Flare from range, landing some shots with the Mini. As Bizarre, they just have amazing zone position now as things will center up. No real surprises there. But I mean, phase 5, and we only have 27 players left alive. That is... I'm warning you now, this is going to be a pretty slow game number 1, so you might want to go and tune into to lobby 2 over on the second monitor right now. See if they have a slightly more spicy circle, because honestly, with this few players alive, things are going to slow down for at least the next couple phases now. It's 36 Cartel. They have control of the eastern side here. Asper and Suspect going to be a little bit split up with a way to go. Bizarre will hear the vehicle. We'll see if Screwzer does decide to engage on towards this. However, instead, just looking out. Spots out Asper now. Deciding not to engage just yet. Maybe hoping that the player will get a little bit closer. Husey for TNG opens up on towards Rookie as there it is. Screwzer. He does spot out Asper now. Asper taking cover down behind the dip. Can the grenade come through? It's certainly looking close here. Takes him down low, but it's not going to be enough to get the kill. A second one is going to be following, but also just a little bit too far as Asper taking decent amount of damage now. Suspect gonna start the rotate as well. Asper just chilling down low, using the smoke for a little bit of cover as TNG opening up on towards Hilarious from Team Spectral. Ginto taking some more shots down the hill. 36 Cartel with 2 players left up now. Suspect laying prone inside the shack. Asper looking to try and move in a similar direction. As Bizarre, they have all their focus down to the south, so they do need to be cautious with Fury getting in a very strong position up on the northern side, starting to make their way through here. As more shots will be raining through from the northwestern side. Team Process just chilling for the time being. Don't have to worry playing this hillside. They are just about in. Like by design, looking over towards it, as is Husey. But for the time being, nothing too much to worry about. Just a lot of long-range shots here with so few players remaining. No real, tight team fights coming up anytime soon that anyone can really see coming. As Screwzer doing his best to keep an eye out down on towards 36 Cartel. Nothing quite working out. Cherry still taking shots up towards Spectral, trying to catch Mr. Clay out in the open as the headshot will land, but it does get quickly returned over on towards Big Boy Maka now. Maka will be not. Cherry looking to try and flex over the top, but Spectral also making a push could make things a little bit rough here. Husey gonna be knocked. Slight by design, the only player here really in a position to try and take this fight against Spectral. So they will start moving in from above. Xing with the DMR doing some big damage on towards it. Process going down over on the eastern side as well as 36 Cartel start to engage over on towards Team Process. Rookie is eliminated as Heikeman getting the flush over on towards Cherry. Over on the east, Wicco going down as well in the trade as Asper, the final player left up, goes for the spray, flushing out Wicco here, trying his best to do some more damage. 7 kills, however, so far for 36 Cartel. So definitely not a bad game for them at all. As Asper working his way around. Is he going to be expecting Akita in this position? No, he isn't. As Akita opens up with a couple shots, will decide to make the push around. Asper already low HP. There it is. Finishes it off. Akita going to be able to pick up the kill there. As now, Husey and Big Boy Maka, joined by Light by Design, are going to have a bit of a rough time ahead of them right here. Light working his way up this ridge, but his team are a bit far back to provide any real support right now. He's using this barrel. He wants to do some damage as soon as he gets over the top. As Xing goes down to Tiger Foam right here. TNG just ever so cautiously sneaking their way in. Shots do come out from Light by Design on towards one. Not going to be enough as Maki keeping an eye out behind, knowing Akita could be down there. Uzi off to the side, sneaking up with the M4. Ever so cautiously as Light by Design does start to open up a couple. Maka still flashed as actually Fury do decide to make a push over on towards Bazaar. Now Insight and Ronan both going to be down as Flood, final player left standing. And I gotta say, this isn't looking ideal if you're Flood right now. Light will go down as well as Uzi getting caught from range. There it is. Down go TNG. Out in 7th position, I should say. As Flood, the final player left up from Fury, starts to work his way round. Should hear Speedy up this hill somewhere as Speedy getting ready to peek over the top. There it is. Tries to land something, but the M4 spray not going to be enough. Down go Fury in 6th. 6 teams remaining and only 14 players alive. Bazaar have control. Make it 4 teams alive, I should say, as Akita, the solo 4-team Process. Spectral still have a 4-man up, so do Bazaar, but VIP with a 3 do have to be a little bit cautious here. Out on the southern side, Akita looking like he does want to start engaging, but nothing huge just yet. We'll see how the next zone pops, and honestly, if this pulls up to the northeast, it's likely going to be Bazaar's game to take. They have just amazing cover in terms of this compound, and even if they do have to move out, they should be able to use a lot of these ridges for their cover while taking shots over towards VIP from, you know, this compound here. They should be able to catch them out in the open, but we do see Greg shot here already going to be making a move, and it looks like Spectral may be aware that they could start to do this now. Hilarious looking out with that mini 14 as best as possible. The circle will center up, so Speedy K going to be in charge of holding out VIP now, as they are going to start their rotate in towards the circle. Speedy looking out. He's got the mini. Does he spot out Greg? No, he doesn't. Not looking in the right position, unfortunately, as Greg now will decide to take the airdrop. Got himself a ghillie suit, but he's also catched himself a lot of fire now as Speedy from range does a little bit on towards him. Does Heikeman realize he goes for the peek up over the top, but it's going to be Endgame, returns it with the headshot, takes down Heikeman with the mini 14 as Greg shot. He preps the nade, not going to be able to connect. As Fury Oz prepping another one as well. Is that going to be it? It's landing close. Xing getting taken down to low HP as Heikeman, Hilarious, and Xing trying to make a final stand. Xing gets the knock on towards Fury as now Greg shot, the solo player here for VIP, throws up the flashbang, does connect, takes down a second, followed by a third, but it's not going to be enough as now Spectral, they will be able to get the heal off. Down go VIP out in 4th position. Spectral with 2 players remaining should be able to get the revives off, no problem. As Bazaar right now just have absolute zone control, trying to connect with something on towards Akita. There it is. It's going to be Mirage Flare that cleans that up. And look at this, phase 7 and only 2 teams remaining. It's just typical, isn't it? Scruiser trying to take a couple shots here down the hill. Speedy with the side angle also going to be doing some damage. Mirage just sticking inside of the building. Mr. Clay opening up with the SLR. Does get caught down low. It feels like every time I'm switching to a player, they're getting hit with some damage right now. So, Illyria's looking out to the northern side, as now Bazaar just have the opportunity to pretty much hold Spectral out here. They're most likely going to have to run out in the open, so... Screwzer going for the sprays on towards Xing Xing, but he can't quite finish the job here. Also opens up on towards Heikeman, but nothing really working out. Mr. Clay getting tagged up a little by Bazaar, but has got the tree for cover now. I mean, Bazaar, they are just... They've got this compound. They don't really need to move too much. It's just about chilling for them right now. Trying to pick themselves up a couple exit frags. Screwzer looking down. Xing Xing getting caught out by Ginto. So see if maybe Mr. Clay can make something happen, as they were working together. Who will be kind of solo from the rest of his squad. Mr. Clay looking out. Goes for the SLR. Taps. Connects on towards Mirage, but now the mini red zone coming out here from Bazaar. In terms of all that utility, no more going to be connecting, as Xing Xing will bleed out. Spectral Gaming playing the shack for cover. This is really not ideal if you're Spectral right here. Ginto looking like he wants to try and move round. Screws are still taking some shots, as Ginto getting more and more aggressive. Spectral have themselves a couple little dips to work with right now, but I mean, for the time being, Bazaar, they don't have to move too much. The circle has pulled over to the west, so now it is going to be Spectral trying to make the final stand here and hold out Bazaar. But with Mr. Clay very split off from the rest of the squad, it will make things a little rough, as Illyria is also going to be going down. Mr. Clay needs to start doing some damage now. He peeks up, but he can't quite find the shots he was looking for. Heikeman sticking the res for the time being. As now it's just a case of Bazaar moving their way through slowly but surely. Mr. Clay, he's given away his position. The entirety of Bazaar are looking up over on towards this, as the nade does land through. Heikeman hits the spray on towards Mirage, but it's not going to be enough, as it's Bazaar gaming with a 9-kill chicken dinner to start off the evening. I gotta say, oh, my webcam's broken again. Brilliant. Just absolutely brilliant. Yep, you love to see it. I don't know what's going on with everything today. Everything I'm using is clearly just broken. Yeah. There we go. We're back for at least now. What an amazing game coming out there from Bazaar. I don't know why everything's breaking today, guys. I'll try and get it fixed for next time. I thought I had everything solved. I thought I fixed the capture card. I thought I fixed the camera. We were all good coming into today. And then as soon as I start up my PC, it all breaks again. Unfortunate there, but that is game number 1 out of the way. We're going to take a very short break. We'll be back in just a couple minutes with game number 2 of OCE PUBG series. Well, Bizarre really showing exactly what they're made of in game number 1 of the evening. My name is Chunks. I am your caster for tonight. Welcome everyone to OCE PUBG Series 5. It is a pleasure to be here. And, you know, day 1 was an absolutely huge one yesterday. As we take a look over at the leaderboard, we'll see how things start to switch up here. As Bizarre, after their chicken dinner, will start to close the gap, but Fury getting dangerously close to crossing that 100-point mark right now. Spectral down in 3rd with 56, as Thrust and 36 Cartel, only 1 point between them right now, so it could end up being a bit of a messy one down there. I gotta say, though, TNG, VIP, and Bliss, teams that I really expected to honestly be in the top 3, at least the top 5, really not having the strongest performances so far, with relatively low points in the space of 6 games, but we've still got 5 more to go this evening. For any of you OCE guys, that might be a bit of a strange one, playing 6 whole games per night. But yeah, that's how we do it in the rest of the world, and you know, it's awesome seeing these teams being forced to play at a longer format of event. Team Process with 37 tied 37 points, I should say, tied with Team Bliss, 300, a little bit behind after that huge bridge camp that came out yesterday. And honestly, if Fury carry on near the top, I wouldn't be surprised to see them potentially just come in and try and ruin 300's day. But game number 2, it is underway. We're back on Miramar for this game. We have 3 of Miramar, 3 of Erangel. I gotta tell you, it is going to be a very exciting one. Let me just restart my NDI real quick, because I am noticing a significant delay since my capture card is broken and refusing to work. We're having to kind of do a bit of a bodge job here, but there we go. The plane path, it is going to be from Pozo over towards El Azhar. Most teams should be able to get to their drop spots. I believe that everyone who lands like Leona's, Chuma, that kind of area, they all have themselves at least some form of alt drop to be able to work with. VIP up on the northern side do have to be a little bit cautious, though, because they are going to be landing right next to TNG, as Endgame going to be shooting down, looking like he wants to go for a vehicle potentially, but does look like Cherry is going to be challenging for it, so Endgame instead opting to go over towards the compound. Cherry gets himself the vehicle and is going to be looting up soon enough. Endgame, however, if he's able to get a weapon, could make some shots land, but he's got himself the K9. I don't think he's going to be able to load it in time, as there it is, Cherry going to be able to disengage. VIP with a bit of an interesting split here. Only 3 players in. I don't know whether the 4th wasn't able to connect, but as the circle does pop up to the north, we'll see how things are looking. I gotta say, most teams looking all right here. However, Thrust already going to be taking shots over towards Fury as they landed down to the south. Fury, one of those teams that it doesn't really matter whether they get their loot spot or not. They'll typically try to rotate into it. They're not afraid to come into that first zone a little bit late and have to fight their way in. It's definitely something they're known for. But we saw this hot drop come out the other day as well, as 36 Cartel are going to be taking a fight on towards Youngblood here. Asper going to be getting taken low. Suspect working through as well. Player 4 with nothing but a shotgun to work with. It is going to make things very, very rough. Asper deciding to stick the res on towards his teammate. So now 36 Cartel trying their best to survive. Youngblood's clearing up through the top floor. Suspect ever so carefully. Just watching out right now. Player 4 with the shotgun. This thing could be absolutely huge in these hot drop scenarios. So we will have to see. Suspect just playing it ever so carefully, knowing that Unique could still be on the other side. Look at this. Osama hasn't been able to get off a single heal yet. So just forced to use the S12K for the time being. Suspect playing it slow. Asper doing the same. Player 4 and Asper right now, they really need to get aggressive and try and get an opening here for 36 Cartel, because they can't spend their entire game just sitting inside of here right now. They need to start opening up. Sasama is going to be making his way in as well. As I wouldn't be surprised to see Sasama maybe go as the entry frag here, just to take a little bit of damage potentially here. And, you know, if he does get knocked, allow the rest of his team to get the trades out before He goes completely down, but here it is, 36 Cartel. They're going to start the push here. Sasama going in as the entry crosses over. No shots will be coming out. The suspect getting ready to watch down towards this corridor. We should point out, Youngbloods, they do have a player up on the roof here, moving around the back. Flash will come through. Just player 4, just playing ever so carefully right now, not giving too much away. Sasama still playing back with the shotgun as 36 Cartel. They're doing what they can. Just try and clear through, but they do have to be a little bit cautious here. Player 4 also just chilling up for the time being. Suspect trying his best to scout as 36 Cartel. For the time being, nothing really much coming out of it. Heifer working around the back here to try and get a side angle as Asba watching with the barrel. As right now it feels like a bit of a stalemate over here. A minute until the zone starts moving. These guys are going to have to clean up quick time. And realistically, Hacienda hasn't got as much loot as maybe you would like it to, especially when you're taking extended team fights in this game. Suspect and Asba, they do start to move through, but Youngbloods, they've already got I only loot bodies out of here. Heifer will be going down now, up on the roof, so not really much use for Youngbloods. Maybe going to get a little bit of info out of it at least. It's 36 Cartel. They're playing this ever so carefully, working their way through as a squad, but they're low on ammo, and I gotta say, Youngbloods potentially in a better position here, as they've just had the opportunity to loot. Which, I mean, 36 Cartel just haven't had, honestly. Champ's going to be moving through. Knows Sasama's over in this position. Has himself the S12K. Maybe not expecting him to be down prone. The nade will come out, but he doesn't see where it came from. Champ's just playing ever so cautiously for the time being. Will spot out one, but Sasama with the shotgun takes down Champ's S12K. Gonna be finishing the job there, as now I only loot bodies. The final player left up here for Youngbloods. Just completely out in the open. And somehow from 36 Cartel having 2 players knocked, they've been able to turn it round here. Bodies keeping an eye out with the VSS. Now it just feels like playing for a couple exit frags here. Nothing huge going to come out. Thrust going to be rotating around the east. There's a lot of teams going to be working their way in. We'll stick on this for the time being. See if I only loot bodies. Might be able to get a kill or 2 out of this. But just playing this ridge for the time being. Likely just going to try and move out of here. Will spot out Suspect, as this is kind of just an ego challenge at this point. Trying to get a couple kills on your way out with the VSS. Suspect going to be able to spot him out as the extended mag not going to be on that VSS. Round comes Asba, taking a couple shots as well. I only loot bodies, takes down Asba, but there it is. Player 4 with the shotgun cleans it up. 36 Cartel taking down Youngbloods in 16th position, and still this hot drop going on. That might have just been the downfall for both these teams, though, because pretty much all of their Miramar games have been thrown away because of this. Neither team have been able to have a really big game after taking that hot drop early on. It's pretty unfortunate, but unfortunately that is the case sometimes. As I mean, looking over at the circle, Fury's still yet to rotate. We know that they tend to rotate a little bit late here. Ace Gun having a bit of vehicle issues, you know, doing a couple flips, showing off for us. 67 up to the north, also going to be going with this kind of split position between the compounds. It's a very strong one, but with TNG over to the west, it could cause a couple issues here as Subject Nest taking shots over on towards Maka. Nothing really connecting. Team Process moving in from the east as Bazaar likely going to try and backfill. It's actually Trident going to be moving in round here. Potentially here in Wicco as Jam Gucci looting up. A bit split from the rest of the squad. So right now, 67, just keeping an eye out. They have control over this northern side. Team Paradox, though, taking a couple shots out of this compound. It isn't the best in terms of fighting out of, but it's good for rotations. The only downside is when you have teams like VIP that have the high ground, have themselves some decent scopes. They can do some big damage over on towards you here. Taking a look at things, though, nothing big really happening for the time being. Teams are being able to settle in. Just a lot of long-range shots for the time being, coming out from 67 over towards the surrounding teams. Subject Nesh just going to be heading in towards the shack, trying his best to stay safe. Team Bliss will continue to head in towards La Cobria as Not sure where the other two remaining players from Team Bliss are, whether they've been eliminated already. We must have missed that, unfortunately, earlier. But Team Bliss, they lost too early last game as well. This really isn't ideal for them right now, as we spoke about them as one of the teams that we expect to see near the top. Unfortunately, they just haven't been able to reflect that in the leaderboards now. A Shoe Horse will be taking some shots with that Mini 14, trying to land them over on towards 300, as 300 just going to be playing these, you know, the edge of the crater for the time being. Nothing too much to worry about. As 300, you know, they were playing in Spark Series last night. They got to be a little bit fatigued, to say the least, as after, you know, a big set of games this evening, they were fighting hard. Now it's got to be late night for a couple of these guys, specifically the NA boys, Viha and Voxic, whereas Headkick and Neff, I'm not sure whether they're just waking up. Well, it's gonna be a rough one either way for these squads. They're very fatigued, especially, you know, a lot of the players that were playing in PUBG Spark Series last night. I've noticed a couple of them already. As we do see Fury, they will start to rotate through. Another one of those teams that we see them participate in like multiple events a day sometimes. Such a strong squad. The definition of grinders right there. Constantly playing and constantly thriving more than anything. A lot of teams, they think, hey, if we play enough games, we'll just get good eventually. Fury, they know they're already good. They put in some serious hours. They consistently perform at the top. As now the circle is going to pull in, we see Trident over on the east. And wow, a pretty hard shift over to the west here. Zlako Bria is still going to be in it, so there is a potential for this circle. Likely going to see a scramble for this position. The TNG auxiliaries and even 300 to an extent are playing. You know, these cliffs can just be so powerful in terms of the sight lines. But if you don't have yourself a decent amount of ammo, can do some real big damage. I know there's a 10-minute delay, but Los, thank you very much for the host, my dude. I appreciate it. Congrats on Spark Series earlier. You guys absolutely killed it. Best of luck tonight when that rolls around. Even though there is a 10-minute delay, do me a favor, go show Los some love for that host. As Husey now going to be looking down on towards auxiliaries. He has himself the 3x here. Nothing really connecting just yet, as auxiliaries should be relatively safe for now. Playing this little, you know, these bits of cover. I wouldn't call it a compound, but this cover of sorts down at the bottom of the dip. The only problem is, if you kind of bank on this too early and the zone ends up shifting away, it can cause some big problems. As Viha going for some shots with that Mini 14, can't quite land all of them, as the cover, even though it's minimal, it is still there. Shoe Horse, however, is going to be low HP, as the shots actually raining in from Mr. Clay here over to the east. Extremely long range shots, 700 meters away. Still able to do some pretty big damage. Process up on the northern side, also going to be moving in. So the circle will start to close. Trident up on the northeast, going to be working past Bazaar. As Bazaar deciding to split up a bit on the rotate, this could be their downfall potentially if they're not too careful. Because Speedy, he gets caught out in this compound here, he could be in trouble. Jamguchi going to continue in heading up to the north. There's actually Furzy down for 67. Opening up here with the Winchester. Gets the knock on towards McZoris right now. Can he maybe take down a couple more? Or even get the flush on towards McZoris? He should be pretty resable. He's inside the building. Waikikamuka going to be going down on the southern side. It's Big J catching him on the rotate. Flood up at the top of the hill will also spot out Jonas in return with the Mini 14, watching out for it, not giving too much away right now. Spots out Cold Mo as well with the Mini 14, but now the shots getting rained in from Basic across the way. Only got a 4x to work with. It's rough at this kind of range, but if there's a player to do it, we know it's going to be Basic, because he does even more damage over on towards Flood. Fury going to continue to rotate out of here, realizing that they've got quite a way to go into the circle right here. It's not going to be ideal for them. As over on the eastern side, we do see Team Thrust still engaging on towards 67 here. Nothing really big connecting. However, they should be relatively safe. But with the last bullet, Frozen Sniper going to be able to do a little bit of damage over on towards Tiger Foam. As it looks like now, Thrust, they're getting fed up with the long-range fights. They're sending in Sigs to try and get an entry knock on towards this. But they do have to be a little bit careful with VIP down to the south. Going to be looking down towards this. Sigs could get caught out in a pretty rough position at the top of this hill. There's 4 14 seconds till the zone is finished closing. We'll figure out where the next one's going to pop in just a couple seconds. 36 Cartel over on the east do have themselves a little bit of a way to make it in. Taking a look over at the circle now, it is going to pull up to La Cobria, which is going to be a rough one for them. A Sigs now actually opening up on towards Tiger Foam. Jinx round the side, goes for the peak, not going to be able to land it. Beef getting a bit more aggressive onto this, however, as the rest of Thrust are going to be a little bit far away for the time being. They need to try and group up because this is a 4-man right here from 67, so they got to be cautious. Jakey gets the knock on towards Scruiser, as now Bazaar will be losing one. Beef, he preps the Molotov, doesn't spot the player through the window though, so he's going to get caught with the headshot and punished in return. This is 67's opportunity to start making a push, maybe thinking, however, that there is going to be a full 4-man pushing onto this, whereas the rest of Thrust are all the way over on the east. Speedy K gets the trade on towards Wicco, as now expect to see a lot of teams sending it in towards La Cobria. It's surprising, honestly, to see these teams still choosing to engage here instead of just going in towards the city right now. As Miller takes down Speedy K, they are going to be caught out kind of in the open. This Process also going to be laying down some fire on towards Ginto here. Rookie looking out as best as possible, as now it's just going to be a case of Trident laying down so much fire on towards Mirage Flare. I'm not sure whether the res was really the play there, but now the Murado, the Bronco, they're both going to be next to useless, and with Trident Esports taking shots down, it's only really a matter of time until one of these vehicles blows up, or at least they get the kill through the smoke. As VIP over on the center of the circle do manage to make it in, but Monty going to be punishing them in return. There it is, Snow through the smoke, going to be able to connect on towards Speedy. Mirage is still alive as one vehicle blows up, followed by a second. Mirage still standing, but Rookie from range will connect with a couple mini shots. Snow getting taken down low, going to be forced to dip down below the ridge, as a lot of teams just going to send it in towards La Cobria now. We do see over on the eastern side, those Sigs will be opening up with that Mini 14 as the rest of Thrust start to make it in a bit more aggressively. Beef gets the opening knock on towards Jinx, maybe not realizing where Thursey is going to be just yet, as Thursey inside this little shack. It's not really much to work with, but Beef is the only player right now from Thrust that is really truly inside of this compound and causing much of a threat, as Sigs and McZoris both also trying to get aggressive, not really able to make too much happen for the time being. Beef does prep the smoke to allow him to move between buildings, but it's not going to be ideal right here as McZoris, he goes for the peak over the top. Down goes Tiger Throne. Beef going to be popping out of this. Thursey chilling behind the wall. Spray comes through. Down he goes, as now Subject Nest, the final player left up from 67, making a final stand. And I gotta say, I didn't think that they were going to be able to make a push onto this, but it's worked out here for Thrust. It looked like they were pushing bit by bit, not really as a team, but Subject Nest will be able to get the kill on towards one. It's going to be McZoris that finishes off the job. Down goes 67 in 15th position right now. As the circle, it is going to close in. We'll see how things pop, as it's actually going to pull slightly south of La Cobria right now. So I got to say, Fury are looking very strong in this current position to be able to hold out these southern teams, as they're going to be forced to start making their way up this ridge. Deja Vu going to be pinned down over the Bronco, which is flipped onto its side, as he's extremely low HP, but he's not dead yet. He manages to get the first aid kit off. It's not going to be too much in the grand scheme of things, though, as 300 down at the bottom of the ridge, also going to be looking to pick themselves up a couple kills. They have themselves a ridge between them and Fury for a little bit of cover, but if Fury do decide to flex down to the west here, it could end up being very rough. Neferher going to be able to get the knock on towards the Shoe Horse. It's 300. Do have to be careful, because Fury, he got bridge camped by 300 yesterday. It wouldn't surprise me to see Fury potentially try and do a little bit of damage on towards them, punish them for what they did yesterday. But right now, it is just going to be Team 300 taking a lot of shots in towards here. Big J are going to struggle to make this cross with Fury up on the top. It could make things very, very rough here. Looking at the circle, it has pulled down to the south. Trident and Bazaar, and Process for that matter, all going to have a bit of a rough time making it in, as Neferhor going to be the one that takes down Deja Vu, gets the flush as well. Ronan looking out for this, as in fact he will spot Voxic doing a little bit of damage. Vox should be able to get down behind the ridge, but Neferhor getting caught down as well. Viha gets the knock on towards him. Viz now not quite finding the flush, as auxiliaries, 2 players left up, are going to be hopping onto the bike, looking to try dip out of here. But you have to worry, though, because Viha and Head Kick both going to be kind of posted up to catch these players off of the rotate here. Basic takes down Ace as now Progdog, the final player left up. Voxic should see the bike coming through, decides to hop out of the vehicle. No seat swaps coming out today, at least for the time being. Progdog gets out of here relatively safely, but Jonas will be going down. Coldmo and Basic still standing right here as Jonas looking like he is likely going to bleed out in the blue. Ace gets the flush. Sorry, Flood gets the flush on towards Ace right now. As Neferher still taking shots up towards Fury. Not relenting just yet as Progdog, 4 auxiliaries out in the blue. Not for much longer, though, as I'm sure it's honestly looking like he could end up going down to the play zone here. Fury trying to stretch over the top as Flood starts to open up a couple shots on towards Viha, but nothing really connecting for the time being, as Vox also going to get spotted out. Viha returns the fire. The QE lean in. It's not going to be enough when you get caught with the body. That lean-in mechanic doesn't really make too much of a difference here, as Sigs now we taking some mini shots down on towards Team Process, but that's just drawn the attention through of TNG as Big Boy Maka opens up a couple shots. McZoris now having to kind of anchor this position, and surprisingly, it actually pulls south again now. So all these teams over at La Cabria are going to have a very, very rough time in getting out of this circle. Honestly, they are going to have, honestly, a absolute hell if we're being 100% real here. 300, however, they are inside circle just about. They have got Viha in, but they haven't really got any insane ridges to work with. As Fury, Ronan will be catching a couple shots on towards him. Not really, you know, able to get the knocks, however, is honestly up on this northern side. Things looking rough right now. We see player 4 as the final player left up from 36 Cartel. Shots raining out over on the eastern side as Team Process going to be engaging. Thrust are moving back. McZoris getting pinned down by Cherry out of the vehicle. 6 going down as well. A nice little 2K coming out from them, leaving Frozen Sniper as the final player left up here for Team Thrush. Just going to be chilling in the 2-story, hoping that maybe Team Process can cause enough of a distraction when their rotate comes in here. Killaroo going to be getting knocked here by Ginto as Monty for Team Bliss. Bliss, you know, 1 kill so far. They've got 2 players standing. But honestly, with all these players up on the northern side, it is going to be a case of Bliss just trying to play for kills in a game like this. They are going to have a very rough time getting to circle here as the later phases come on. 300 taking a couple shots here as the headshot does land on towards Cold Mo. It will be Viha that gets the knock on towards it. Neferher getting a little bit aggressive on towards this 300, looking up the hill, trying to find something, but for the time being sticking with the barrel to prevent any possible pushes from coming out. Ginto does go down as Paradox going to be grouped up inside this building. It's not ideal to rotate out of, but you know, if you can play for some kills out of it for the time being, you got to do it. As now we do see Paradox taking some big shots. Sands trying to connect through the smoke. Killaroo has already taken out Ginto. 2 players remaining here for Bazaar. It's going to be Mirage Flame and Speedy K. They're still not inside zone either. Rain opens up with the nade over on towards Fury right now as tries to take down one more. The Molotov coming out instead as Greg's still going to be standing. Progdog starting to make the cross. Neferher takes down both remaining players from Big J. So there's 2 more points coming out here for Team 300. Down on the southern side, we do see Voxic opening up with some shots on towards Fury. Nothing huge coming out of that as now Team Process, they realize that Paradox have to make it out of this building. So they're going to be absolutely farming some damage on towards this rookie. However, in a bit of a worrying position here is Paradox peek over the top. They could absolutely catch him. Even if any nades come through, it will be deadly for him. Akita goes for the sprayers. Rookie peeks over the top, lands the headshot. Ronan actually going to be going down to Neferher now, taken down from range by Illyrius for the flush. Sands getting caught out low as Rookie just trying to take a couple more shots. 1 more bullet will do the trick. There it is, down go Paradox Esports in 12th position. As now TNG, they start to get involved. A beautiful little 3K coming out from Big Boy Maka there as he cleans up the fight beautifully. He's going to be looking to try and find Rookie as he's just playing slow for the time being. Can Maka maybe make it a 1 versus 4 right here as now he starts to open up with some shots on towards Mirage Flare as well. Rain takes down Greg. There's only 1 player remaining from VIP. Rookie still chilling for the time being as player 4 with a huge nade takes down both remaining players of Team Bizarre. Very, very well played. Down on the southern side, 300 start to make a push. They've taken down 2 from Fiori, leaving Insight as the final one left. Viha going to try and peek up over the top. They have the info on towards him now. He's just going to be moving into the compound to try and play as a solo. And I got to say, 300, they are not afraid to take some pressure to Fiori here, as Insight will be moving down the hill, trying to get away. Potentially just going to play one of these dips and try to play for a couple kills, but honestly, with a team like 300, they're going to be giving chase big time here. They are clearing through this compound. They're looking for the kills when the time comes. Snow starting to clear through as well here, as Fiori and him, the 2 solo players inside this position. Rookie finally going to be going down over on the northeastern side. Monty gets the flush. Sorry, the kill on towards player 4. The final player left up here for 36 Cartel. Snow aware of Fiori's position. There it is. The barrel spray comes out, but it's the team Fiori that goes down before him, as Fiori down in 8th. VIP down in 7th. Prog Dog getting caught low by Rain, but he will be able to get the knock on towards it. Monty looking to try and finish off the job, as Molotov in hand is going to cause a bit of an issue here. Prog Dog pinned down. The gun poking through the wall. I'm not sure if that's visible on Monty's side, but it doesn't matter because he will be able to get the kill anyway. Now it's Monty versus Snow as the 2 remaining players in this position. Snow gets the flush on towards Rain. Trident still for the time being trying to survive, but the Molotov comes down, is going to prevent the push potentially. Monty does land a couple shots over on towards Snow, continues with the pre-fire, but Snow going to prep a flashbang out of this doorway. Monty maybe not expecting Snow to pull this off here. He actually comes through the warehouse. He has himself the barrel, but there it is. Monty, he just lands the headshots beautifully there. Down go Trident Esports in 5th. There's Bliss now with only 1 player standing. 300 have the hillside. TNG working their way up onto it, and Spectral over on the east will take down Monty, is now Team Bliss down in 4th. 3 remaining teams as 300 going to be going for the res here over on towards Head Kick. Voxic still playing out of this position though, trying his best to get aggressive. Saw Cherry making a push with the Molotovs. TNG, however, they don't have to push into this compound. The zone has moved towards them. They can play this hillside for the time being if they so choose to. Cherry just being cautious, keep an eye out. Big Boy Maka moving the vehicle into zone for a little bit of extra cover here. Be her. Interesting position, trying to play up towards the roof. Oh, that's unfortunate. He does unfortunately miss the vault opportunity on towards that roof. So Voxic going to be hopping up there in return, potentially, by the looks of things. No, instead, 300 looking like they do just want to try and flex out a little bit over on towards TNG. Realizing roughly where this position's going to be. Mr. Clay sends the vehicle in as well over towards the rock. Just trying to get themselves a little bit of extra cover as Light by Design with the Mini 14. Spots out 1, but the ridge will be good for the time being. In terms of holding out these teams. Now, however, 300, they have to start getting aggressive here. Viha doing a bit of damage on towards Light by Design, but Cherry over to the side will have something to say about that, I'm sure, as he does start to return the fire. The nade comes down. It lands a little bit early here. Ethan with the SLR doing what he can as Head Kick and Vox start to clear out over on the west here, realizing that Spectral are down below. Just have to be a little bit cautious here. Head Kick opens up, takes down Cherry as the long-range shot actually going to land over on his pan before landing on the body. Maka going down as well as Voxic opening up. He will get taken down in the trade. Via with the spam flushes out on towards Cherry as now it's going to be Head Kick and Via, the 2 remaining players left up. Keeping an eye out as best as possible as Hughesy's still going to be standing here for TNG over in this position. Just because Cherry's out doesn't mean the threat is over. Here we go. Spectral start to move in. Illyrius takes down Hughes. Light by Design and Big Boy Maka, the 2 remaining players now. As Hughes trying to crawl his way in for a little bit of info. Not going to be enough. 300 have the high ground. Mr. Clay getting taken down low by Head Kick. As Viha looking to try and flank ground on towards TNG. Maybe using this fight with Spectral as a bit of an opening. Maybe without realizing, however. He will open himself up to Spectral, I should say. If he does decide to move in, Viha just laying prone. So the circle centers up. Spectral going to be looking strong for the time being. Light by design and Maka just playing inside this dip for the time being. Head kick, keeping an eye out as best as possible here. Viha also sweeping over to the east. Spots out Light by design. The spray comes through. The flush not going to be coming out as Light will be able to get down below this ridge. Maka actually picking up the helmet here. Looks like potentially wants to take this fight, but Viha moving down. Maka preps a flash, throws it down the other side. Just to prevent any teams from third-partying from behind. Viha going to peek over the top. Out he comes with the barrel. Flushes out Light by design. Down goes Maka as well. 3 players left up here for 300. It's Viha, Voxic, and Headkick. As Headkick is going to be taking a couple shots. He gets them returned on towards him. Mr. Clay looking up the ridge now. Spectral, they're really not in a bad position in the grand scheme of things. They may have the low ground, but the zone is just completely under their control for the time being. Xing Xing takes down Headkick with the headshot. It's now, honestly, just going to be a case of Spectral keeping the zone control as much as possible here. They are, you know, deep inside circle. We are in phase 8, which means it will come down to the dot. So if Heikeman's able to get an opening knock, this could completely secure the game here for Spectral, because realistically, the high ground when it comes into those final circles can be very, very rough. Heikeman working his way through ever so cautiously as Headkick starts to open up. Viha making a run for it. Goes for the spray on towards Mr. Clay. It will land through, but Heikeman from the side angle with the Org. He's given away his position now. He needs to make a big play right here. The nade comes through as Voxic. He's already being caught up by Heikeman, leaving Headkick as the final remaining player. Now it's just a case of Spectral throwing down all that utility, trying to finish the job. The nade lands through, but it doesn't matter because Spectral going to clean it up with the gun in the end. Is Mr. Clay with the final kill, and a 7-kill chicken dinner for Spectral Gaming in match number 2 of the evening. Well, that is game number 2 in the books, our second one of the evening. I don't know why my camera keeps bugging out. My name is Chunks. I am going to be your caster for this evening for OCE PUBG Series 5. It is a spicy one. Next up, we have our final Miramar game of the series. It's going to be an exciting one to watch. Let's take a look over at the leaderboards and see how things are stacking up. Fury holding onto that win, but after 2 performances that haven't had the strongest, you know, in terms of the placements, they have been able to pick themselves up some considerable kills. They just about passed that 100-point mark, but Bizarre and Spectral starting to give chase. So Strepsil Gaming with a very impressive game number 2 right there. Let's see if they can carry it on over into game number 3 as we hop into our final Miramar game of the evening and of the series. The playing path is going to be pretty eastern to western here. Teams should be, you know, relatively okay in terms of making things in. And just before we hop into this game, I do want to give you guys all a massive thank you for hanging out, all the follows, all the support. It means a lot. We are so close to hitting Twitch partner status right now, fulfilling all the requirements. So it's much appreciated, guys. It really does mean a lot. Hopefully, you know, at the end of the stream today, I'll be able to hit that big apply for partner button. So fingers crossed. Thank you everyone for hanging out. It has been, the past month has been absolutely insane in terms of all the support for all the casting. A lot of scrims, a lot of fun events we've been able to do. So just from the bottom of my heart, thank you guys so much for the constant support. But enough of being all soppy and, you know, emotional. Let's get into some PUBG and watch some teams kill each other. Blow some stuff up, shoot each other. Yeah, that's more like it. As we do see the playing path, it's going to be interesting to see how things unfold. Spectral going to be landing in towards Picardo. Look, I've got strepsils in my head right now because of these guys. 36 Cartel and Youngbloods, no surprises here, finishing off the final Miramar game of the series with a bang. Opening up big time here. Suspect going to be able to take down Sweet Soul, getting the flush on towards that as well. Heifer getting the trade. Suspect and Asba still standing as Youngbloods only have Unique left, I believe. It's going to be a rough one here. As Unique, the final player left up, got the S12K. Right now, it's just going to be a situation where you just got to send it in as fast as you can. Honestly, you can't really do much outside of that. Voxic actually going to be hitting a headshot with the VSS down towards Monte Nuevo's. Old Mo going to be getting flushed out. And Unique playing it maybe a little bit slow here. Maybe the better play, honestly, would have just been to send it in right here. But for the time being, Unique opting to play it slow. 36 Cartel back up as a 4-man. And I gotta say, this is not ideal for them. Unique working through as best as possible. Just playing to maybe catch a couple of these players off guard. But if last game is anything to go off, 36 Cartel, they are going to play this as a squad. They're going to sweep through, and Youngblood's potentially going to have another 0-point game here. It's Unique just ever so carefully walking through, not wanting to give away any audio cues here. Nades will be coming through as Unique finally does pick up a vest at least, so at least there's some form of safety there. Looking down the stairs ever so carefully to not give anything away. Six Cartel clearing up top now. Both circling each other. 5 bullets in the S12. Is it going to be enough as Asper goes for the peak? No, it isn't. Youngbloods down in 16th, our final Miramar game of the series. That's how it's all going to wrap up right there. 15 teams left alive, and what a circle, honestly. There's the potential for an island circle. It would have to pull down to the southeast for it to happen, but it could happen. It could happen. A decent amount of water here is going to force teams to fight very, very early on in the game. It's going to be a rough one for a lot of these squads. As, I mean, the focus right now might just be on teams like Thrust posted up on the edge, trying to pick up as many kills as they can, because they know no matter how this zone shifts, teams are going to be all on top of each other. It's not going to be a fun time for anyone. They're going to have some very, very rough fights ahead. Team Bliss, they are going to be as a four-man for the first game this evening, though. After, you know, the previous two games, they lost a lot of players early. It was far from ideal for them. In terms of rotations and things, though, nothing really huge going to be coming out. Nothing really worrying from these teams. We do see TNG actually going to be taking it through San Martin. We could potentially see 36 Cartel do some damage over on towards this, but honestly, with the loot that they've had, I think they just need to carry on looting for the time being. They're not going to be too worried about teams rotating down to this road to the south as Cherry starts to pass through. Sasama going to continue heading down towards this compound, but yeah, I don't think they need to worry too much. TNG just going to continue heading past right now. As taking a look over at the map view, we do see Jinx going to be opening up with a couple shots here with that SLR. Trying to get a bit of damage through, but honestly, this early in the game, teams are going to separate themselves as far as they can from each other. Jinx is watching out over on towards Trident, but nothing really connecting just yet, as Trident will be able to continue to loot. The bus coming past. Snow in the Bronco. Jinx trying to land something with the SLR. Is he going to be able to do it? Does actually land one on towards Snow now, but maybe not realizing the blood splatter. It's pretty hard to see through the gap in the back of that Bronco. As now, it's just going to be a case of Jinx trying to do a bit of damage, but at this point, he's that far out of range. I don't think much is really happening. Thrust grouping up over at the crossroads area over on the east. However, they do have to be cautious because Akita here from Team Process is going to be solo moving in early. Could cause a couple of issues now, as Process are going to be playing as a three-man this game. Looks like their fourth was not able to get in just in time. So Jakey coming to provide some support as Mixoris scouting out over the top, trying to get some sight, but nothing really working out. Akita should be able to disengage from this relatively easy now. VIP, the three-man clown car coming through on the Bronco. Have a bit of a way to rotate in here. Paradox are going to be posted up ahead. Paradox spotted this. They could start taking some shots, but it doesn't appear to be the case. Sam's going to be hopping in the vehicle. That could have been pretty much 3 easy kills right there if they had themselves a DMR to shoot the players out, but there it is. Paradox instead going to continue heading in. Maybe didn't hear the vehicle coming behind. Jakovsky should be able to, though. However, only an M24 to work with is going to make things a little bit tricky for him. So he's just trying to scout out as best as possible. Only got a 3x to work with. VIP up on top of the hill. They're going to hear the vehicle moving through as endgame. Is he going to take some shots, or is he just going to let him get away safely? It appears he's just going to allow him to leave without too many issues here. So the circlet pulls down over towards the east. Heikeman starts moving in for Spectral Gaming immediately behind Fury, however. So this could be a bit of a rough one as the Murado coming through. Flood going to be pulling through in the Bronco. Ronan decides to pull out. Oh, no. He decides to hop out of the vehicle. There it is. He gets punished in return. The vehicle run over. Waikika Mukau, however, solo for Fury, trying his best to survive, but not for long, as Heikeman gonna be able to get that one. And Fury losing 2 players early. It's not the best performance for them here, as Insight and Flood a little bit split from each other. Insight going to be playing over towards Impala, which honestly, off a circle like this, I've seen it pull down there quite a lot. It wouldn't surprise me if we do see Impala ending potentially, but honestly, Fury right now, not ideal. Down to 2-man. Sure, they're in first place for the time being, but they have another poor game. It is going to allow the teams in second, third place to start closing that gap. As Ginto taking a couple shots with that SLR, more so to try and keep teams away to connect with any damage here. The sightline's just not the best, playing behind that wall. I mean, for the time being, nothing too big happening. Players will be rotating in from the north. 36 Cartel still looting up after that very early game fight. They weren't able to maybe get the loot they would typically have hoped for, so having to go with a bit of a split for the time being. Auxiliaries splitting up into different vehicles, just trying to, you know, reduce the possibility that a vehicle just gets blown up with all of them in it now. The shots will be coming out from Ginto over on towards TNG. Nothing too concerning, however, for the time being. As teams, for the time being, just playing a little slow, not giving too much away. Tiger Foam, however, will be going down, as we saw 36 Cartel looting over in this location. Now going to pick up even more kill points off of it. And we should point out as well, 36 Cartel, 5 kills, not lost a single player. This is a pretty good start for them now. Furzy. Furzy just kind of planking right now, I guess. Oh, no. I'm intrigued right now. Whoa, he just teleported. He just teleported across the map over towards Minas. Oh, I love PUBG sometimes. It's one of those games where when you get a bug, they're amazing to watch. As Furzy, he is going to be keeping an eye out. Potentially spots out those players from Team Bliss over on the east. That is one of the best bugs I've seen right there. Invis will be able to spot out 36 Cartel as the SLR shots coming through. Player 4 with the seat swap SLR. Can the rest of auxiliaries do some damage in return, however? Not really looking like it, as 36 Cartel in the clown car somehow not getting punished for that one. It seems like they should have done, but apparently not going to be the case. They will be able to make it through a little bit further. As the zone, it did pull slightly down to the south. It's unlikely we're going to see that island circle, but with a decent amount of water still in, a lot of teams are going to be scrapping it for Impala here, as we do see Fury deciding to take the warehouses over on the western side, as 300 actually going to be pushing in towards Big J right now. It's Deja Vu and Basic, the 2 players from Big J holding this compound. Deja Vu, he preps the Molotov, decides to throw it outside, but there it is. Voxic with the frag, takes him down. Goes for the flush. Neferher cleaning that one up. 300 picking themselves up 2 relatively easy kill points there. It's up on the northern side. Paradox, they've got 2 players left up. Jakovsky and Sands, and they hear Bazaar all around right now. Jakovsky watching out as best as possible with the Molotov in towards him. Sands getting ready to peek around the side. Does he spot out Ginto? The tree appears to be in the way for the time being. Ginto going to get ready to move in. Thrust also starting to get involved now. So we do see Sigs up on the high ground. Tchaikovsky and Sands just playing ever so carefully. Sigs, he hasn't got the best line to sight here. The trees will make it a little bit rough, but maybe Maxoris from a different angle could do some damage as well. Hopping into the bus. Tchaikovsky goes for the spray. Big damage on towards Ginto. Sands peeks round the side. Takes down Screwser on the push right now. Tries to pop up to get the kill, but Tchaikovsky goes down to Mirage. As now it's all down to Sands. 20 bullets in his gun, but putting out some big damage in return right here. The push comes out from Ginto. It's not going to be enough. Paradox Esports down in 15th position now. Some points being picked up for Bazaar, but with only 3 players remaining, they lose 1. Is that really worth 2 kill points right now? As up on the northern side, we do see Team Process. The 3-man we mentioned earlier are going to be taking a couple shots down to the south, doing a bit of damage over on towards Trident. As Rookie from the side angle, looks like he wants to go for the kill on towards Miller, but Jamguchi spots him out here with the headshot. Going to be first to move down the bottom of this ridge. Rookie going to be safe for the time being, but Trident have his number as Jakey starts to pepper in some shots from the northern side for Team Process. Nothing really working out. Rookie trying to make his run away. Can Garfield spot something? He's focusing on the boost for the time being. The circlet will pull down to the south in that Impala circle. Just saying, I called it like 2 phases ago. It's a possibility, and now it's a probability as it pulls down to the south. Spectral going to be set up to try and hold teams out. And you know what? Potentially the circle could shift east yet again now, which would be an interesting one. See Xing taking some shots. A suspect actually going to be getting ran over by Invis. 4 auxiliaries mollies up on the northern side as Progdog, the final player left up, starting to get a bit aggressive. The nade comes through, not quite close enough on towards Osama, but 1 or 2 more bullets will do it. Progdog picking up the kill there. 36 Cartel, 2 remaining players. They've already picked up 5 kill points. Now time for them to try and add some more onto it as nades, flashes, mollies, they're all starting to land down. Player 4 makes some noise with the AK. It's Progdog just laying low. Asba, however, will get caught from long range by Team Bliss. This is player 4 versus Progdog. Can he clutch this out now? As he preps the flashbang, he's got a Molotov to work with as well. He throws it over towards the vehicle. It lands on towards player 4 now. He's going to be absolutely lit up, and that might just be it right now. Progdog, he does get the flush on towards Suspect. Down goes player 4. And 36 Cartel, after a very impressive start to the game, will be going down in 14th position now. With Progdog as the solo, got himself a buggy. It's pretty low in terms of health, though. Bliss not going to be able to hit shots on towards it. The line of sight just not going to be there for them just yet. So over on the east, Snow takes down B from Thrust. First kill point of the game for Trident, as now Sigs will have his attention trained on towards them. Deciding to move down the cliffside, wanting to make himself a bit less of an open target for the time being. Deciding to group up round to the north with Frozen Sniper. Process moving in over on the northeast, have been able to make it just about. Subject Nest getting caught with a seat swap here by Headkick. 300 with 3 kills so far. Neferher gonna try get the kill over on towards it. There it is. Subject Nest going out. 300 with a nice little split over on this western side here. They have a compound, they have the ridge to work with, but if it pulls down to Impala, a lot of teams going to have some trouble here, because realistically, the only team inside Impala right now is going to be 67, as Xing Xing spots out Voxic, wants to try and land some shots, just deciding to hold his trigger discipline with the bullets, though, for the time being, not engaging onto that just yet. Xing Xing watching out, knows that 300 are around here somewhere. Circle starts to pull. As now, Team Bliss still taking shots over on towards Bazaar, as they're going to be a little split in towards this compound. We'll see how the circle pulls in just a couple seconds, but for the time being, it's going to be VIP laying down some fire over on towards 300. Endgame has been taken low, and there it is. It's going to pull down towards Impala, and this is a horrible circle for all these teams that were banking on a north rotate here. Akita with the spray opens up a couple. Garfield goes for the peek over the top, but the headshot landing through. Jamguchi preps the nade. Down it comes. Akita taken down to 13 HP. Rookie taken down Jamguchi in return, though. The flush going to be coming out. Now, Trident, I don't think they've even got any teammates around this area. No, Snow's already focusing on getting into zone now, and I gotta say, if there's a team I've got to favor in a zone like this early on, it's got to be Spectral. They have the high ground. It's just going to be a case of them trying to farm up some kills now, and if the circle pulls over to the east after heading up towards Impala, then, I mean, teams are just going to have to fight over these cliffs pretty much, and it's going to be Spectral's games to lose. Saying that, however, if the circle does pull over to the west here, Spectral may have themselves some issues. As it is going to start moving soon. We do see 300 preferring to go in towards this gas station. Big Jonah still chilling inside here, though. He's got himself the barrel. Spray comes out on towards Voxic, but it's quickly shut down as Headkick picking up the kill on towards that one now. As up on the northern side, Thrust have managed to make it into Impala, as have TNG. Bliss starting to work their way through here as Insight opens up on towards Thrust. Fury already in towards Impala. TNG with 2 players holding on towards this building. The nade will come out from Maka. It lands on towards Bryn, but not enough to really do too much damage right now, as Thrust have themselves the high ground. More nades coming out, but Sig somehow managing to survive it down to low HP. One more will do the trick, but not quite landing just yet. Bliss playing this as much as possible, but honestly, they're taking a lot of heat from multiple different angles here. And with Fury all the way up top as well, it could cause some big issues. even once they do manage to make it over into this, because they won't be aware of this. Sure, Thrust and TNG, they're aware of the sightlines that Fury have here from taking the fire from them. But Bliss, as soon as they move over this ridge, they could be completely open. Heikeman keeping an eye out as well over on the east. He knows that Processed is gonna be over here somewhere. Greg shot. Maybe not realizing the Bazaar inside here, as there it is. Mirage Flare takes down one. Flushes out the second. Greg shot still remaining. So I believe the final player for VIP does take down one, but now he's got only 5 bullets left and 17 HP to work with. Throws the molly onto the stairs to prevent the push, but honestly, Greg is in a very rough position here, not realizing Mirage had the line of sight through that nasty little gap. There it is. VIP going down in 12th now. Beautiful angle coming out from Mirage there, as auxiliaries will be going down to the play zone. Circle pulling up to the northeast, and I gotta say, just every time this circle shifts right now, it feels to me like it's favoring Spectral even more. As Headkick playing down at the bottom of this ridge does have to be a little bit cautious of Spectral over here. They should be able to hear him, as it appears that Xing is going to be looking down towards this. Viha a long way away from his teammate. And there it is. Allure is going to be able to take down Headkick. Viha, the final player left up here for 300, as the nades will start to land through. They appear to have a bit of an idea of where he is as the flush comes out on towards Headkick. Spectral right now, just playing it ever so carefully, not wanting to concede anything. They have a really good position inside zone, and losing a player just, it isn't necessarily right. It isn't necessary right now. They just need to hold this as long as possible and play cautiously as a team. Because with a position like this, you want to be staying 4 up. You want to be picking up some big kills. And, you know, with 26 players alive, a couple kills could make a huge, huge difference in a lobby like this. 67 over on the west, still not inside, just outside Impala. May have a bit of a rough time, as now Rookie from Team Process does start to open up with the Mini 14 on towards Heikeman here. Can't quite finish off the job. Heikeman using that hill for cover, playing prone for the time being. Trident do open up, as Jakey going to be getting taken out over on the eastern side. Akita looking to try and get the trade, but he has to be cautious from above. Will be able to finish off Snow, as now Jakey going to be in the position to get 5. Flashes still coming over, though, as Rookie, I'm not sure whether that was a flash that was thrown a little early or whether that was from Spectral here. I think it was from Rookie. He's going to be keeping an eye out all the way up the hill, but needs to be a little bit more cautious, because these 2 members from Spectral are looking like they want to start flexing. However, for the time being, just going to try and take this compound instead. Almost the saving grace for Rookie here. Spectral just doing everything they can to avoid overextending. They want the zone control, but not at the cost of any players. They realize that they are in a position to potentially take this game, especially as Phase 6 starts to pop in just a couple seconds. Cherry looking up the hill over on towards Heikeman. Can't quite spot him out just yet. As Impala, if this circle shifts away, which is looking very likely, it's just going to be an absolute crush. Mr. Clay with some shots with the SLR. Jakey now going to be returning the fire here for Team Process. Spectral start to open up. Rookie getting taken down low by Jing, but he does return the fire. Illyria's doing what he can with that Mini 14. The circle, it's pulled hard down to the south, and honestly, Spectral here, they just need to group up and get back on this cliff as a 4-man, because, I mean, just look at how perfect this zone is for them right now. The bolt shot actually coming out from Xing here with the M24, doing what he can. Isn't really going to work out, as Bazaar doing what they can to play the dip. Only 2 players left up. They're going to try and get the res on towards Speedy. But honestly, with Heikeman in a position like this, he's just putting out so much damage right now. Rookie going to be getting flushed out, as 2 players left up here from Team Process. It's Akita and Jakey. And honestly, they just have to try and run the gauntlet right here to make it in. So 4 kills for Team Process. They're going to try and add some more. But with the zone positioning like this, it is really not ideal. Bliss doing some damage up on the northwestern side over on towards Bazaar, but they need to be careful not to overpeak here. Thrust still behind. Monty flexing out a little. Does Heikeman spot this? It appears that he may do. There it is. Textile spotted. So's Monty, as now the shots will start to open up from Heikeman here. Process making their way in. Mr. Clay doing some damage as well, but he's taken down to 1 HP. It's going to be Speedy K that gets the knock on towards Mr. Clay as Heikeman looking to flush out on towards Mirage Flare. Mirage Flare, I should say. As from range, Akita with the headshot. This completely opened up Spectral now. They've got Jing Jing that gets the knock on towards Jakey, trying to get a second, but honestly, Spectral have made a huge mistake in splitting off this far. They've lost one, and now it's down to Allurus, going to be the final player left up for Spectral. Ginto will be able to take down Akita. Bazaar up from the northern side start to move down. Bliss flexing through the crates to get control here as... looking at this circle, things are looking very, very rough. Bazaar want to try and get this high ground that Spectral previously had. Zalura's going to be trying to move in to get at least one revive off on towards Heikeman. But honestly, it feels like Spectral, it was their game to lose. And by playing split, by playing a little bit greedy by any standards, they're going to get punished for it right there. Very unfortunate, as now Team Bliss are going to start making a move in. We did see Speedy open up some shots on towards it as flashes, mollies, nades, they're all going to start coming out. The nades from Bliss, however, going to be just a little bit too far. Monty in a bit of a rough position as Bryn gets taken down low with the nade, forced to go for the heal, but the second one cleans it up right now. Monty playing down low for Team Bliss, has to start getting aggressive. They're up as a 4-man, but they've only managed to pick up 1 kill this game. They're going to be looking to try and get some more here. As PDK going to be caught on the drop. Mirage going down as well. Textile taken down in the trade as Ginto playing in between 2 Molotovs now, barely surviving, but as he stands up and turns around, maybe not expecting a Molotov to be right behind him. He takes a lot of damage, will be just about safe as Bliss now maybe expecting him to be somewhere else. As thrusts start to open up on towards TNG, the util will be coming down from them. Really well used as Frozen Sniper and Sigs trying to make a final stand. Sigs, he throws out a smoke for a little bit of extra safety, but Frozen Sniper just in a really rough position, to be honest here. It's going to be rough here with TNG right above him. Via still alive for 300 down on the southern side, managing to survive just about as Sherry throws in the nades, takes down Sigs low. Maybe not expecting Frozen Sniper to be here. An interesting play coming out with the smoke here. It might just work out for them as that will limit the sight lines. But as more flashes start to come down, it hints that TNG may be wanting to make a push. However, instead, going to make a cross over the street along with Fiori. Is, just looking at this circle right here, Spectral, they managed to get back to a 2-man right here and potentially hold out some teams, but it's going to be a lot harder than it really should have been with a zone position like this. They lost 2 players on that split early, and it's really not going to work out as Monty going to be able to take down Frozen Sniper. Bryn gets the kill on towards Sigs. Heikeman takes down Ginto. Down go Bazaar right now as Monty nearly getting taken out. TNG looking to try and punish as Fiori hear the shots as well. They're also trying their best to get involved. TNG, they're all stuck inside one building here. 1 or 2 big nades from Fiori could absolutely ruin their day. Seems like Insight maybe not aware of exactly where these TNG players are going to be, as Husey doing his best to try and watch out of the window here, just in case of anyone sneaking up behind. Team Bliss deciding to send Monty up this ridge a little bit. However, should be relatively safe now. Heikeman getting the high ground as the circle actually going to pull over to the west here. Spectral, I believe they could play this. I believe that they can play up on this hill. Maybe be in. Yes, they just about can, but they'll be very open, so deciding to play inside a little bit further. Larius gonna take down Monty as now Spectral don't make the same mistake again. You need to work as a team right here, and with Heikeman around the back, it's not looking great for them. The nade comes out for the flush. It's gonna be just a little too short, though, as Bryn looking to try and stick the res on towards this. Potentially gonna see Illyrius move down a little more. The cliff's actually bouncing the grenades away, saving Bliss right here. Here it is, TNG. They start to open up on towards Bliss as Monty getting taken down with the Molotov. Bryn going to be caught on fire as well, grouping up with Rain as much as possible. There's so much fire coming out here from TNG, trying to do some damage. Rain finally does peek up as he takes down Cherry in the trade. Flashbangs coming over here. Nades looking to try and land as well. Potentially, 300 will be getting eliminated. Viha takes down one, but Heikeman, the final player left up here from Spectral, doing some damage. Light by Design playing over in the corner as TNG to get ready for the push. Both players going to be low HP, but Bryn in the same boat right now. It's going to be Heikeman from range, however, that picks up the kill. 11 kills so far for Team Spectral here. As now he starts to open up on towards TNG. Insight gets the kill on towards Cherry, but it's stolen away by Heikeman at the last possible second as Fury with 2 players left up, 67 with 2 as well. It's now 67. We see them wanting to start getting aggressive over on towards this. Verzi goes for the spray, not really connecting here. TNG still with 2 players remaining to try and survive as, I mean, at this point, it's Phase 9. It is going to come down to the dot. No teams really have it under control for the time being. Fury do start to prep some underhand Molotovs as 67 going to be relying on the smokes for the time being. Heikeman up at the top, lands one on towards Jinx. Surely it's too far from Molotov. He's going to try with the frag instead now. As it does start to roll through. It's going to need a good bounce to make it happen. It's round the corner, though. It's TNG. Want to start making it in just a little bit more now. Light by Design and Maka starting to clear through as Heikeman is going to be taken low. Up in the first aid, hoping the 67 get a little bit distracted. 8 kills for Heikeman alone here. This is absolutely huge for him. Fury still watching out, throwing down some more smokes. No real lethal util to work with, so Flood going to try and get the angle on towards Heikeman. It's stolen away by TNG, though. So the zone starts to move in. TNG, Fury, and 67 all going to be forced to make a move sooner or later. Light holding on to this, aware that 67 are going to need to push out this smoke in a second. So right now it just comes down to who's got the most smokes, who's got the most flashes. And how long until these players have to move? As Insight gets the trade on towards Jinx. Flood goes down. Light by Design takes down Insight as Big Boy Maka cleans up the job. Furzy tries to peek out. 9 bullets left to do it as he finishes off Maka. It's down to a 1 versus 1 now between Furzy and Light by Design. And Furzy peeks out round the side. A 2-kill chicken dinner for 67. Not the biggest in terms of frags, but at the end of the day, you get those 10 placement points. You're gonna play for them wherever possible. 67 with our 3rd and final chicken dinner of the evening on Miramar. We're going to take a very short break before we head over to 3 more Arango games. Well, ladies and gentlemen, 67 with the first chicken dinner of the series. Welcome back, everyone, to OCE PUBG Series 5. My name is Chunks, and after 3 amazing games to start off the evening, we're about to move over into some Erangel action. Let's take a look over at the leaderboards before we do, though, however, as Fury now, after some decent kills, have been able to, you know, keep stretching those points. But honestly, for a team like Fury, we'd expect them to have some really big performances, which they had yesterday. Today, not so much, however. Spectral with 90 total points, really starting to close that gap. Bizarre, only 4 points behind them. TNG, there's a bit more of a drop-off between 3rd and 4th. And honestly, it really is anyone's games right now. 300 still sneaking up round into that top 8 position. And you know what? As we hop into Erangel, we'll see if we get any more bridge camps coming out here, or any early game fights coming out between 300 and Team Fury, because we saw how that went yesterday. 300 deciding to bridge camp Fury, almost poking the bear to a certain extent. One of the strongest teams in the lobby. Definitely a risky play to make, but I mean, it's a play that you wouldn't expect any less of from 300. They are such a strong squad. Honestly, they're not afraid to take these fights. We see them do it all the time over in NA. Seeing them do it over here against Fury is no real surprise, if we're all being honest here. In terms of hot drops, I don't think we're going to see too much coming out. However, Big J going towards apartments. Looks like, I'm not sure whether Youngbloods typically do land here, but not really recognizing this as Big J. Oh no, Sweet Soul manages to get into the vehicle before Cold Mo. Vehicle kill coming out. There it is. Down goes Cold Mo. As Invis also going to be getting taken out with a vehicle run over by Team Bliss up on the northern side. Should actually be resable here potentially, as Prog Dog can move down towards this, so Bliss leaving them to kind of stay nice and safe for the time being. Sweet Soul, however, moves in towards the compound. Maybe not expecting the player from Big J to be inside here, as the micro Uzi shots do rain down. I only loot bodies also on the top. Looking out for this. Goes for the shotgun shots. Jonas now in a bit of a rough position, honestly. Micro Uzi and a barrel. At least he's got a vest and some helmets to work with, but with Deja Vu moving in as well, this might be a fight that neither team wants to take, and I'm starting to notice a bit of a pattern here with Youngbloods taking a lot of early game engagements that maybe aren't completely necessary. So only loot bodies. He hops up onto the roof, goes for the spray on towards Deja Vu, deciding to unpeak. PP Bison. An interesting strategy. So now he will drop down, clearly unintentionally, but hey-ho, as Youngbloods, they fully committed onto this. They've got all 4 teammates here. Jonas takes down Sweet Soul, as Unique going to be sticking the res on towards it now. Deja Vu looking out. So Unique takes down Jonas, holding on towards the corner, but fortunately Jonas had a nade in his hand at the time he goes down, meaning he will be flushing himself out. Unique takes down Deja Vu, and now only one player left up from Big J. It's Basic. He's all the way over in apartments, and maybe going to be a bit of tension between the team now. Basic saying, you should have just come to apartments, and the rest of the team saying he should have come help. That's the way it always ends up going in scenarios like that, but there it is. Big J down to just 1 left, and Youngbloods winning their hot drop. And it feels like Youngbloods pretty much every game are taking a fight now, so it will work out for them. 3 kills, 3 points as they start to move in towards Rozhok to try and loot up, I should say, not heal up. They should be pretty good in terms of that, as long as they can get themselves some boosts. Taking a look over at Circle, however, it's going to be pretty standard. Teams shouldn't have too much of an issue making it in. As I mean, the only teams that really need to worry here are maybe 67 and Trident, as they do have a bit of a way to make it in from the north. There's a potential of a bit of a split down the middle that could cause some issues, but in reality, I think everything should be relatively okay. I don't really see that river split almost coming out. However, there is always the possibility of something like that in one of these situations. There's 59 alive. We're at 5 minutes into the game. Surprisingly few fights kicking off in the early game, as I thought, you know, coming into a wrangle for our first one of these 3 games to finish off the split, we maybe would have seen some fighting, but not going to be the case now. It's just a reminder, there are 3 more games this evening. There's this one, followed by 2 more a wrangle to wrap up the series, and I gotta say, it's going to be interesting to see how these teams end up stacking up, because honestly, Fury maybe lost the lead that they gained yesterday. We'll see if, you know, maybe it was just Miramar that caused that issue, or whether now that we're back on a wrangle, they can, you know, start picking up some serious points again, like we saw them do yesterday. We did see Paradox. They managed to get themselves a crate here, leaving none of it behind other than a 4X. I assume it was Butts that got it. Nope. Well, at least one of them has. There it is. It's going to be Killaroo. Got the AUG, and in the day, the 3 gear being one of the most important things about crate drops at times. Paradox still going to be looting over towards Pachinki. I'm not sure what they're really looking for right now. They should have most of the items that they need. As the circle, it's going to start moving. Just about, you see it in the corners. Starts making its way in. Still plenty of time for teams to get in circle here. However, Invis from Auxiliaries is going to be laying prone, hoping the 67 don't move in towards this, which they will not. Invis looking to try and group up with his teammate. It's going to be Prog Dog up to the north. Jinx not really looking over in this direction, just scouting over towards those compounds to the south, making sure his team have something to move into. But honestly, I feel like 67 right now, they should be going a lot deeper into zone than just looking at this compound. They should maybe be looking to try and take one of these compounds around Everest and get maybe over towards Gatka, because maybe the downfall of 67 so far is being a little bit too passive and going a little bit too placement heavy, as opposed to going for any big kill points. I mean, for the time being, Youngblood's looting up over in Roz, I should say. Tiger Foam starting to move in. Youngblood seemingly aware. Unique working up this hill. This hill is such a pain. I feel, please, PUBG, if anyone's watching, make that hill a little bit less steep. It'd help out so much for all these teams. As I Only Loot Bodies does open up here. Subject nest going down. Tiger Foam looking to try and rotate for a bit of support, or potentially just dip completely out of this fight, which appears to be the case. There it is, Tiger Foam getting out of here immediately. Trying to group up with Furzy now, as out goes 67. Jinx still up on the north with a bit of a way to go, as actually 300 here. We saw them set up a bridge camp over on towards Fury yesterday, so I don't think anyone's surprised to see them posted up in this position. Neferhall taking some very long-range SLR shots over on towards that player out in the open for VIP. It's going to be endgame, but honestly, the shots, they aren't really quite landed as close as you'd hope. Endgame should be able to get safety, and I mean, from VIP's position, they can very easily rotate over to the east. They shouldn't have too much to worry about. But over at the Snake compound, we do see Thrust and Bazaar both going to be inside here. Mirage playing up against this little ridge. Hoping that Thrust move away. Ginto providing that fire support for the time being. Thrust have been able to get out of here. So over on the western side, we see yet another group of teams clustering in together. Trident have the hillside as TNG going to be taking this little compound, taking shots over towards 67 as they rotate up through the northern side. Wicco going to be able to take down Scruiser as Miller starts to engage on towards TNG. The fire quickly getting returned, however, by Big Boy Maka. It's actually going to be Butts from Paradox here, a long way away over to the west, that gets the knock on towards Miller. They looking to try and get the flush. The tree should be enough kind of safety here. The smoke's coming through. Miller should be resable unless Husey is somehow able to get line of sight on towards it, which doesn't appear to be the case. No windows for him to work with through that building. Trident right now. She's getting pinned from all sorts of different directions. 67 returning the fire over on towards TNG's vehicles. Just going to try and make it a little bit harder for TNG to rotate out of this by popping the tires. I'm pretty sure that's not a real vehicle. Does he not realize he's trying to blow up the tires onto this? I think he realized. I think he's given up now, but that's yikes. With the zone closing in, Auxiliary's the only team that really have to make it into zone. And honestly, our phase 2 here, there's the potential of a hard shift down to the south to come out. It would make things very tricky for a lot of these teams if it ends up going down to the south and being one of those 50-50 circles. But as a spectator, they're so exciting to watch. As Jinx, for a second, I thought he was on a different team and he was, you know, seeing his teammates tracking them, about to pull out a really stealthy play, but it doesn't work out. And unfortunately for anyone like me who likes seeing the horrible circles, it will, in fact, pull up to the north. So most teams going to be pretty much settled already inside it. Basic, however, solo player from Big J, is not going to be inside, playing over towards apartments right now. Decided not to take any shots over towards auxiliaries just yet. Looks like he is purely going to go for the placement point to this game. Maybe on towards the last vehicle. Nope. Deciding to just chill, lay low, and let auxiliaries go in and take this little shack over on the hill. But Progdog here, he's moved in early. He's scouting out. He knows that there could be players over to the west, which is going to be the case as Unique opens up a couple shots. Youngblood starting to open up here as the nade comes through. Is it going to be close enough? It's just going to be a little bit too far to connect on towards Shoehorse. Or Util coming through. Can't connect on towards Ace as Unique trying to move back a little bit. Sweet Soul hanging back with the SLR. Youngbloods also on the rotate. Getting caught by Invis. Only loot bodies. Taking a lot of damage here. Auxiliaries with an interesting split, deciding to have Invis all the way down to the south. Heifer taking shots up here through the smoke. Not really quite landing. So Auxiliaries, they do have Progdog back up, but as the vehicle tires go down, it's going to make the rotate much, much harder. Shoehorse still playing on the dip as Sweet Soul and Unique. Just ever so careful here. Terms of pushing down onto this. Sweet Soul gets ready to go for the peak. Barrel spray comes out, takes down Shoehorse as the fire gets returned. Unique going down to Invis from range now. The flush going to be coming out as Tiger Foam steals it away as 67 up the hill, also going to be getting involved on towards this. The 3x SLR. Is it going to be enough to spot out Sweet Soul? It doesn't appear to be the case, as actually Tiger Foam going to be able to flush that one out as well. So Youngbloods now, only 2 players left up. They picked themselves up 4 kills, therefore 4 points, but 2 players up. They're on the very edge of zone. Invis looking like he wants to take the fight on towards I only loot bodies. I mean, honestly, the chance of getting into placement points are becoming slimmer and slimmer. Down on the southern side, though, we do see Trident. Snow going to be taking a couple shots over on towards Bazaar as Ginto gets the opening knock on towards Sham Gucci. Mirage Flare gets the trade. Snow with his teammate. Only 2 players up here for Trident. Garfield with a big spray, but the fire getting returned. Snow with the SLR as well. So 2 versus 2 for the time being as Ginto and Speedy just playing this building. Neither team wanting to really make a push too early. I don't think either teams have a lot of utility to work with. Heifer actually going to be able to take down Progdog here. Is he going to go for the flush? Can't quite find the angle. The Ridge providing cover. Tries to pick up a kill on towards 1. But actually 300. They're going to be opening up down on the southern side. We saw Spectral beat 300 on this fight yesterday. A very similar one at least. Let's see if Mr. Clay can maybe clutch it out here as he's managed to get the heal off over on towards his teammate. The hipfire comes in. Voxic picks that one up. And there it is. Down goes Spectral out in 16th position. 300, they get their revenge for yesterday where Spectral managed to hold them out of the circle. As now back on towards the Trident Bazaar fight. Nothing really too much going down. Garfield just keeping an eye out from behind to prevent any third parties coming in. The circle has pulled over to the east. So once again, most teams are going to be in, but those western teams having a bit trouble here, as honestly, the more teams that are inside the zone, it means that the next zone is going to be that much harder, just because, you know, if a team's inside a zone, when it pops, they've got a position. They ain't mad about moving. They're going to hold this for as long as possible. Then when that next zone shifts, it just means that, you know, more teams are going to be forced out. Basic lane prone, just trying to survive. Auxiliaries over on the east, Fury down on the south. There's Ronan keeping an eye out. Fury did hear the shots coming out from this earlier, but nothing too worrying for them. Just going to stick with this position. Potentially hold out any players up on the northern side and then group up with the rest of the team. There's Bliss down on the southern side, going for a couple shots over on towards Team Thrust. Instead, going to be forced to play over towards the cliff, as Thrust playing a pretty big 2-2 split here, with VIP taking the fight on towards two of them. Now, VIP, they can't really make a very easy crossover towards this compound, but there is the possibility that they have the player advantage here. They could make something work out, so Thrust might be looking to try group up a little bit. Sigs with the mini 14, still doing some damage on towards Rain. Can't quite land anything, as Ronan now will be opening up on towards Ace Gun. Auxiliary's going to be losing one. He takes down a second as well. Waikikamuko coming around from the side angle, just wants to clear in case of any final remaining players, but Basic is going to be tanking a lot of blue damage here, and with Fury down to the south, he's got to be very, very cautious. Greg shot gets the knock on towards Monty for Team Bliss. So VIP, even though they're not in the best position, they are still opening up with some shots, showing their confidence. Basic behind a bush. Waikikamuko going to be on the top of the ridge, and Basic just honestly trying to deny the points, if anything. He wants to make it into the placement. He's going to have to tank a lot of blue damage here, but he should have the meds to work with it. 1 med kit, 3 first aids, and 5 bandages. It should do the job for now. As Tigerfoil opens up on towards Prog Dog, and Viz playing behind the tree is going to be the final player left up for Auxiliary. SLR spam comes out. There it is. Auxiliaries going down in 15th position. Basic sneaking his way in. Waikikamuko might be able to spot this out, however. It's Basic just working along this ridge ever so carefully. Over on the western side, we do see Killaroo taking a lot of shots over towards 300 here. It's Killaroo deciding to back off out of this. Neferhor goes for the seat swap. Doesn't quite work out, as he realizes Paradox are going to be posted up over on this ridge. Not really a position you want to challenge, as it pulls up pretty hard to the north now. This is going to mean Potato Hills inside. Neferhor tries to go for the seat swap, but it's going to be Voxic that lands the headshot on towards Tchaikovsky. Neff peeks up over the top, takes down one, followed by a second. Sam's the final player left up, as the nade lands through from head kick 300, picking up another 4 kill points. 7 overall right now. This is going to be huge for them, but it looks like Team Thrust potentially looking to try and third party onto this. Sigs going to be going for the drop, grabs himself that 3 gear, and now starting to immediately get aggressive on towards this. He sees that Neff is knocked in the kill feed, but the rest of the squad are just going to be a little bit far away right now. Sigs has to be very, very careful here, especially with Viha holding this side angle for 300. Sigs goes for the spray. Viha going to be made aware now. Voxic flanking hard to the south here for 300 to try and pinch Sigs, as he is going to hop back into that vehicle. Shots raining through here. Voxic doing some decent damage. Head kick takes down McZoris, as now Sigs getting caught with a nade by Viha. He pops up over the top, goes for the spray. There it is, finishes the job. Down goes Sigs. 8 kills so far here for 300. As over in the center of the circle, we did speak earlier about Trident and about Bazaar being kind of forced together in this compound, not wanting to engage too much, but as the nade lands through, Endgame going to get taken out. It's the end of the game for him, as Jakey with the SLR gets the flush. Greg forced to play the rock. Smokes is the only real form of cover. VIP in a really rough position right now, especially if Bazaar are able to throw down a couple more nades. Insight from above, landing the mini 14 shot. Headshot comes down on towards Garfield, but no real knocks as of yet. And honestly, 300 and Thrust, the only 2 teams that aren't inside zone. 300, it almost works to their advantage with their playstyle. They like fighting their way into zone. That's how they pick up the majority of the points, but it can be a bit of a risky one here, as Voxic going for the SLR shots at range on towards 36 Cartel. Decides he wants to start moving up to the north. Bliss going to be looking to try and hold them out here, as there it is, Voxic taking shots over on towards Rain. He will be forced to back off. Thrust sending it in over on towards Trident, as Snow going to be able to pick up the knock on towards Beef. Sniper, the final player left up. Smoke will come down here as Sniper start to clear through. There it is, beautiful pre-fire coming out. Snow cleans that one up. Thrust down in 12th. Bizarre still opening up with some shots. Head kick, gonna be able to take down Monty here. He's looking to do some more damage on towards Textile. The nades will land through. Textile getting taken a little bit low. One more, gonna be a little bit far, however. Frags are getting returned. So, I mean, 300 right now. I was gonna say they have to be cautious of 36 Cartel, but it works out for them as Viha takes down Asba. Still being cautious, though. Sasama flexing down to the south. Could do even more damage, but as nades land through, they're not going to be anywhere near Viha for the time being. Maka opening up on towards Neff now, as actually Team Process going to be moving in towards VIP. They should know there's players inside here. Wicco run himself over with a vehicle. Rookie. This could be big for him. Only he knew how to spray through it. There he goes. Fury going to be going down to Jakey. It's Greg going for the res. He gets spotted out. There it is. Rookie cleans that one up as Heifer goes down in 11th for Youngbloods. Voxic will be getting caught. Viha, the solo player, left up for 300. The real question is, does he go for the res here? Does he try to take down Textile, the final remaining player from Bliss, as he gets caught from range here by Bizarre. Now's Viha's opportunity to get involved. Maka, however, takes down Textile as Light by Design punishing on towards Viha. There it is, down go 300. Out in 8th position. They picked themselves up a decent amount of kills, but only one placement point out of it. Up on the northern side, 2 players still standing for Fury. It's going to be Ronin and Waiki Kamukau as 67 start to make a push over on towards this here. Fuzzy and Tiger Throne, they know that Flood is over here. I'm not sure whether they realize it's a knock, however, as the flash will come over. Going to give Ronin the opportunity to stick out the res over on towards Insight. From the side angle, Ronin peeks up, takes down Tiger Foam. Fuzzy, the final player left up from 67, just playing prone as carefully as possible. Fury sweeping out. Flood does need reviving soon. Molotov's coming down. I might make Fuzzy a little bit nervous here, making him think that Fury have his number, know where he's going to be. Decides to go for the pop-up over this, wants to get involved. Waiki Kamukau now off the res. Fuzzy pops down low. He spots out Ronin, but Ronin lands the headshot first. There it is, 67 out in 7th. So we're into our top 6 teams, and the entire center of the zone is pretty much open right now. It's all kind of clustered over on the southeastern side here. This Trident and Bizarre fight still not quite over yet, as Snow and Garfield just trying to land some shots on towards Bizarre. But honestly, until either of these squads need to move, I don't expect either of them to even really peek out of this building. Team Process still down below, could start to open up with something. They maybe have a bit of utility to work with, as the zone will pull over to the west. TNG, the only one to even have a player inside right now. Cherry is going to be that entry position for TNG as Rookie. That is so unfortunate. Doesn't land a single shot on towards Garfield, as he will be taken down. The res should be relatively easy here for Team Process, but with 40 seconds until the circle starts closing, they need to make something big happen. Nade comes down just in case of a player being behind that rock, and here it is. Speedy starting to flex out a little, aware that Process could start to push, but it's actually going to be Fury from all the way up the hill punishing on towards him. Ronin with the SLR doing a bit of damage. He spots out Jakey as well. Headshot lands. One more bullet will do the job, but it's not going to be enough just yet, as Ginto and Speedy trying their best to survive, forced into a room together as Process getting slightly more aggressive bit by bit, but they need to make it happen quick now, as Fury have moved themselves into an even stronger position. Insight As soon as Process crest up over this ridge, he should be able to punish them relatively easy. TNG have the western side, 36 Cartel on the south. Keeping an eye out, using the vehicles for cover. It could end up being a bit of a danger, though, as Snow now finally does open up over on towards Speedy K. It's going to be Akita that picks up the kill on towards Ginto in return. However, Spam coming through with the SLR, not really connecting. Can Garfield maybe land something with the Molotov? Not looking like it, as Process with 2 players left up. Jakey goes down to Insight, as Insight starting to get more and more aggressive, realizing the Process are going to be making a move on towards this. He wants to flex down. Snow actually opening up on towards player 4 here, working with Garfield. Gets caught by Rookie from range, but it's actually going to be Light by Design and Big Boy Maka that take down Trident here as they go down in 5th position. We're into our top 4, and Insight, he has Akita's number right now. 1 or 2 more shots will be able to land, but not really anything huge right here, as Suspect gets the trade over on towards TNG as Maka going down. Wicco takes down one, but a beautiful 2K coming out here from Ronan. So the final player is going to be Akita. Still standing, not for long. He takes down Cow on the way, but Fury should be able to get the revives off, as now TNG, they start to open up, and it's over before it even starts. 36 Cartel are going to be getting eliminated here. 4 versus 4. TNG versus Fury. Arguably 2 of the strongest squads in the lobby right now. We hear the music on the vehicles. Fury's war cry. Although a lot of people may think that their marching song is Forever Young, as, you know, we've heard them bust it out in those intense situations before. Insight getting caught out by the DMR here. Cherry going to be flushing that one out. There's 3 players left up for Fury, 2 of whom just playing the smoke. Cherry playing aggressive on towards this, but TNG, they've sent players back. They have the zone under their control. It's just a case of TNG right now in this position, really just holding them out. Husey inside the compound. Maka spots out Flood. SLR shot's going to be landing, but not enough to really get the kill. He is going to be behind the tree for the time being. There's Maka working his way round on towards this. He knows that Flood is still at this tree. He doesn't really have the support of his teammates, who are a bit more focused over to the east right now. SLR spam coming out from Maka. Doesn't quite work, as Flood now trying to return the fire on towards Light by Design. The headshot landing on towards him, but maybe not realizing he is in fact just below the grass, out of his line of sight. Flood switches over to the M4, aware that TNG are going to be, you know, focusing a lot of attention over onto him now. Waikika insane spray coming out there with the AK Hollow. We've seen how powerful he can be with it. There's Cherry getting flushed out, Light by Design, doing some big damage over on towards it. The nade lands down. Will kind of be the saving grace here for Fury, as Flood playing that northern side as a solo has to make something big happen here. Maybe expecting Light by Design to be a bit further away. He actually is, as Light working round, knows that Fury gonna push out this smoke sooner or later, but there it is! Ronan peeks out the side, but, I mean, somehow not going to be able to clean up, as Light by Design turns around, takes him down. Waikika Mukau and Flood, the 2 remaining players. Flood going to be absolutely pinned. Cow in a similar position, needs to take this fight on towards Light by Design before the rest of TNG move on to this. Flood going down as Big Boy Maka cleaning up the fight. Waikika Mukau, the final player left up. Now it's just going to be a case of TNG working round as a team to try and sweep this one out. And with the zone pretty much completely under their control right now, it's going to be a lot easier for them than it is for Cal to pick something up. But honestly, if there's a player that can clutch in these situations, it's the AK Hollow God, Waikika Mukau himself. He tries to peek over. Big damage on towards Maka, but not really going to be enough now, as does return the fire with that SLR. Cow moving around the back. Light by Design also going to be sweeping, however, with that M4. Spots out Cow. Out comes the spray. The headshot lands. One more bullet will do it, and it's light by his eye for Tough Nation Gaming, picking up the final kill of the game. A 12-kill chicken dinner for them for game number 4 of the evening. TNG pick up our 10th match of the overall event, 4th of the evening. 2 more games to go, Game 5 and Game 6, both going to be played on Erangel, and in just a minute we will be hopping in. But first, let's take a look over at the overall standings, and Fury, after a pretty huge game, is finally starting to stretch out that lead again in the way we maybe expected. A big game coming out for them. Spectral currently in 2nd with 90 points. Bizarre Gaming in 3rd with 89. TNG with 87. And I gotta say, realistically right now, if Fury are going to be able to pick up another big game, it is going to become one of those situations that, I mean, we see it surprisingly often in OCE, where it might just come down to a battle for 2nd place, because honestly, we've seen it before. Fury can just be so dominant and just cause huge problems for all these other teams, making it near impossible for them to actually, you know, make it into that 1st place position. So mediocre performances from Fury will pretty much secure them that 1st place overall. But as we hop in to game number 5 of the evening, the 11th game overall, our 2nd to last match of the series. It's going to be a rough one for a lot of these teams, and I think this is where we see a lot of interesting plays start coming out. Everyone, you know, always talks about that Game 6 scrims mentality. I think when we get in towards the end of events is when we start to see it a lot more, as we do see Bizarre going to be landing over towards Auxiliaries in North Georgia Pole. The plane is going to be pretty far to the south, so we will see Fury decide to go for that milli drop instead. Now, the question is, do 300 try to set up another bridge camp and hope it works out? I mean, first, we're going to have to see where the circle ends up going, whether it's up to the north, up to the south. It'll be interesting to see. Big J also going to be landing over towards TNG over here. Looking like they do want to try... Well, TNG want to land for the compound, like by design, going for the vehicle early. Deja Vu could potentially get spotted out by the vehicle. Light, nothing really working out. He's going to try and get a couple road kills here, certainly. As Big J, they have all been able to make it over to a building, so it will make things a little bit easier for them. They're not going to have to worry about Light by design, as Deja Vu up on the top of the hill with the Vector, taking a couple shots. Nothing big really landing, as TNG grouping up. It's a central circle, so Fury will have to make that cross. I'd be surprised if we see another bridge camp come out, but you know what? You never know. 300 might just set up and hope for the best. But in a circle like this, I'd like to see them, you know, just play into it early. You've got yourself a good entry into it. You never know, though. 300 definitely one of those teams that they like playing out in the blue a lot of the time. They like playing on the edge. They like having to fight their way in. A Speedy K here for Bizarre, a little bit split from the rest of the team as they're further over to the east. He is right in the middle of Auxiliaries now, so does have to be a little bit cautious. Invisal, though, in a similar position with Bizarre extremely close. He's going to be looking to try pick up a couple kills as they try to clear their way through. Scar Spray comes out, takes out Scruiser, goes for the flush, but the fire gets returned by Ginto. Now, Bizarre, a little bit taken aback here. Maybe not expecting this. Auxiliaries, Shoe Horse starts to move in over towards this position to provide some support. Speedy K deciding to move down to the south a little bit further. Mirage Flare backing off, going to try and group up with Ginto. And potentially Bizarre going to try and back off of this now. They need some big games, and early game fights are not the way to get those. So we do see the circle. It's going to be relatively central. Nothing too much to talk about here, other than the fact that teams like, you know, Big J and TNG are going to be looking good going in towards this. But yeah, in the grand scheme of things, I don't think there's much to really keep an eye on right here, as Ace will be getting spotted. Will be spotting Speedy, however, I should say. he hops in towards that boat. Going to be trying to get out of here as soon as possible, as I think the rest of Bazaar are going to be following suit as they head over towards the eastern apps, looking for a vehicle to try and rotate out of here. Over on the eastern side, we do see Spectral going to be looting around this Milter power split. May have a couple issues getting into zone here. The Lumberyard can be a bit of a risky rotate just because of all the little bumps, and especially if Team Process do decide to move down there to do a little bit of damage, it could be rough. But honestly, I think Process, they're going to be looting up and trying to get as central as they can, because it feels like Process haven't had the best circle favorability so far in this event. It'd be good to see them, you know, get in there nice and easy and kind of get a central circle and be able to show what they're made of, because it definitely, at least to me, feels like Process are one of those teams that their playstyle is more suited to getting themselves a compound and fighting out of it, as opposed to playing edge and trying to fight their way into a circle, which, you know, for a couple of teams, surprisingly is where they perform the best, which I think a lot of players maybe wouldn't expect. As endgame here for VIP did take a couple shots over towards Trident, rotating their way through, about to head in towards Pachinki. We shouldn't have to worry too much, as they are going to be playing the northern side instead. The real question, though, is Trident, how do they do this here? Do they go for one of the Pachinki compounds that Killaroo is already set up in? Do they continue heading in a little further? Either way, Killaroo's going to be ready for this now. He's got the barrel. He's just kind of waiting for Trident right now. Moves back into the doorway as it appears that they will be scouting. Sans going for the spray, and now Trident, they're not even looking to challenge onto this now. They know that they need some big games. They can't really risk taking too many early game fights. They are just going to go and head over towards this Potato Hill now. Paradox do have Jakovsky playing a little bit aggressive over in this position. Picks himself up a 4x at least. But honestly, for a lot of these squads, not much to worry about. Sigs almost getting caught on the rotation, so Sama opened up a couple shots over towards him. Fury now starting to make the push, and really 300? One bridge camp wasn't enough. They had to go for a second one. I mean, Fury, they should be pretty aware of this. They've got caught out by the bridge camp once, so instead gonna, you know, opt to go east whenever possible. Honestly, it really doesn't surprise me here, as Neff gonna be all the way up top. He's got himself the 8x, but yeah, I mean, 300. Not gonna be able to pull off the bridge camp this time. Fury just 2 steps ahead of them by the looks of things, but Team Process are going to be taking a couple shots as Rookie with the M16. Almost leading Trident in towards his teammates here. A nice little bit of teamwork to catch them in the pinch. Miller getting taken extremely low, as does Jam Gucci, but Trident should be able to disengage from this no problem. More shots will still be raining in, as maybe Jakey could make something happen here with the Mini. Only a couple bullets really need to land, as the vehicle's already tagged up. Spam coming through from Process. It's Trident now going to be forced to hop out of the vehicle. Jamguchi, he nearly gets taken out by the vehicle explosion. But safe for the time being. The smokes are up. It's from range. Akita trying to land something. Lets off the pressure. Maybe going to be a bit of a mistake here, but here it is. Jakey going to be going for the spam with the Mini 14 as well through the smoke. And now as Trident hop out of here in the vehicle, this could be their chance to maybe land a couple bullets, but looking like they're going to be a little bit too far away to accurately be able to land them. Trident going to be able to grab this compound for the time being, but they will be one vehicle lower. As VIP also going to be making a push in towards the blues over near Watertown. Instead, Marin deciding to back off of this. Bliss, they have a lot of zone control as it is. They don't need to be taking a fight like this. They can just play these Badland Hills that can be so powerful in zones like these, so not really stressing too much for the time being. Basic taking a little bit of fire from TNG, but nothing really to worry about there for the time being. As the circle's going to be closing in, 300 still waiting for that bridge camp, but honestly, it's not really going to affect them too much. They prefer playing in for the late game, having to fight their way into circles, so they can afford to tank a little bit of blue damage. They're going to realize sooner or later that Fury aren't going to be making this cross anytime soon. A Sweet Soul here for Youngbloods is going to be getting a little bit aggressive with the 4x barrel. Double barrel, actually, an interesting setup. Maybe hasn't found themselves a DMR just yet. It's going to be very, very careful. I mean, that 4x barrel, the bullet velocity is very slow, so it'll be an interesting one. I almost feel like maybe the DP would be the better play here, and Sweet Soul may be thinking the same thing, but just keeping an eye out as the rest of the team are going to be all the way over, and Roz playing as that aggressive position, just scouting out for a little bit of info here. The circle will be closing through. Player 4 taking a couple shots over towards School, trying to blow up those vehicle tires. It will work out successfully, as Wicco also going to be getting spotted out now. Bullets do land through as he takes cover behind the vehicle. I'd be surprised if Wicco even knows where Player 4 is. Just a pure distance between these guys right now. There's no way that Player 4 gets spotted out here. I don't even know where he's getting shot from, but I'm pretty certain it's not going to be Wicco. Suspect with the Mini 14, trying to land a couple shots on towards it. Nothing huge really working out. As 36 Cartel, they have control of Potato Hill, but Suspect and Player 4 in two very crashable positions. Is 67. Gonna be looking to crash right into the top of the hill right now. Sasama should be able to hear this, so does Asba. 67 gonna go and play these shacks that we saw them play last game. It got them into the late game, but it could allow teams like 36 Cartel to potentially sneak up from behind here. Subnet Nest opening with some SLR shots down on towards Paradox over in Chinky right now. A little bit too far to be able to do any consistent damage, but is going to be making some noise as 36 Cartel do decide to rotate up through the north here. Player 4, his vehicle does get spun out as the tire gets blown up. He should be relatively safe as he is behind the ridge, but now he peeks over the top. Tiger Foam going to be looking to give chase as Ronan actually taking down Rookie here. The seat swap coming out here from Tiger Foam. It doesn't quite work out. So Ronan running over Rookie, now going for the seat swap on towards the Shoe Horses. Takes him down extremely low. Auxiliary doing what they can to try and get out of this fight. They're going to be forced to play a pretty rough position here. We saw them play it last game and they lost a good few players off of it. They do have to be very careful. Sweet Soul is going to be opening up as Big J tried to crash in towards that compound. I only loot bodies. Picking up the kill on towards Cold Mo, provided the Big J can't get the res off. Unique now, the final player left. Sorry, Unique now going to be able to take down Jonas. Basic takes him down. In the return, he's got himself the barrel. But honestly, Big J in this position, it's rough. Nades are going to be landing through as I only loot bodies, also going to be moving around. Down he goes. Jonas eliminated. Spectral going to be getting some shots opened up on towards them over on the eastern side as Fury doing some big damage there. That leaves Spectral with only two players left up. Hilarious and Heikeman still remain in. Player 4 gets the knock on towards endgame over in that compound, but 36 Cartel for the time being likely just going to move back over towards this compound on the west of Pachinki. They know it's very playable. It's strong to work off of. Sands with the barrel, trying to spray over towards the rotating players. Wants to land something on towards Auxiliary, but it's just a little bit too far as they will be able to get down behind the ridge. But now they head in towards Tchaikovsky's position as he will be able to take down Invis. Progdog still here as well, though, as the rest of the auxiliaries are also going to be moving in. Progdog playing inside this dip. Is that a nade? Certainly looks like it could be. Just a little bit short. Takes Progdog low. So the util going to be getting returned. Tchaikovsky's safe for the time being. Asper going to be the one to get the kill, however, as Ace Gun goes down. Progdog and a Shoe Horse still remaining. Tchaikovsky takes down one. Progdog, the final player left up, trying to land something here with the AK. Takes down Tchaikovsky, but surely Killaroo's going to be able to land something here. A really well-placed nade, and yeah, that's over. No, what? What? Progdog survives. The Molotov finishes the job, though. There it is. Auxiliary's out in 15th position now as Paradox. I was certain that that nade was going to finish the job, but I mean, that prone damage reduction just makes such a huge difference now. As Ronan out in the blue, doing some big damage over to the east on towards Trident. As 300 in just a matter of seconds. They tried to make a push on towards 36 Cartel. They're going to be eliminated down in 14th. Not the game they were looking for after, honestly, a really strong game last match. Ronan moving in to try and group up with the rest of Fury as they have control of School. Mirage Flare rotated up to the north on towards Spectral as Heikeman and Hilarious both going to be aware of this. Heikeman posted up, goes for the barrel spray, takes down Mirage Flare. Hilarious a little higher up, maybe going to connect onto a couple more bizarre players, but they're playing the Ros Hill for the time being. As the circle pulls up to the northeast, we're going to have a Badlands kind of finish. It's going to be pretty rough for a lot of these squads, but shouldn't be too much of a problem as there are plenty of dips to be able to play. VIP having some vehicle issues. They do manage to recover them, however. As VIP, they do decide to send it straight in towards the dips by TNG's compound now as the nades will be coming out. Husey tries to land something. However, the ridge is just going to be enough to work with here. Process looking out as well. Still can't quite land anything for the time being as Tazi going to be getting taken down a little bit low right now. Maka opens up with the spray on towards endgame, but the fire not really going to get returned too well. There's more nades coming out from Furios. Nothing really working out for the time being. We often see teams take this VIP position and it ends up being a bit of a stalemate between the team in the ridge and the team in the compound, and then out of nowhere, it just absolutely pops off. Hilarious takes down Jamguchi, as Trident going to be making a cross through Rozok. They have to be a little bit cautious, as Hilarious taking some shots over on towards it. Trident still have to make the cross through the street, as Bazaar are going to be looking to try and pick up a couple kills here. The smokes are through, and Speedy prepping the nade. It is going to be a little bit wide to connect on towards Jamguchi. But hey, it'll blow up some fences, make things maybe a slight bit easier for Trident to make it across the street. Snow taking the UAS. Speedy tries to connect with a couple shots with that Mini 14. It's not really going to be enough, however. As McZorish just getting a little love tap here from Sigs. Frozen Sniper takes down one from 67. It's not ideal right here as Furzy gets flushed out. Jinx, the only player from 67, still inside this building. He throws through the flashbang, deciding instead to drop down to the bottom. The rest of 67 across the street opening up as Tiger Foam taking a lot of damage from VIP here in the dips off to the north. Subject Nest still just playing slow for the time being as the circle closes in. We'll see how it ends up popping. And it is going to center up a big old donut in the center of the map. It will end up being a kind of Badlands finish here. Subject Nest keeping an eye out, trying to connect on towards Frozen Sniper. The smokes will be providing some decent cover, though. Subject Nest does get caught out by Beef. Down on the southern side, we do see Team Paradox. Sands is going to be going down. Sasama getting the knock and the flush on towards that as 36 Cartel and Paradox both going to be forced to move sooner or later. Sasama here. Interesting. Gotta love the spectator bugs every now and then. Shooting straight through the floor. He does a bit of damage, not really enough to get the kills, however. There's two already here for Sasama. Second place in the current kill rankings for this game. Over on the eastern side, Fury, they've decided to pull up on towards Rozok Hill. Waikikamuka with the SLR taking some shots over towards Miller and Garfield on the northern side. As they will start to land through, Miller getting caught down a little bit. Nothing huge connecting as Endgame going down as well. Fury taking multiple fights at the moment as Trident do try to make the push over on towards Waikikamuka. He will be getting eliminated by the Scarf. Flood peeks up over the top. Can't really land anything. Is Fury going to be conceding this position for the time being? Ronan moves hard down to the south now as he does go for the spray on towards Garfield. Catches him out of the vehicle. Fury working through. In sight with the M4, looking like he wants to go for a bit of a seat swap here as Sig's going down. Sig's actually taking down Waikikamuka, I should say. Snow, toasted out in the blue. Jamguchi about to follow the same fate. Flood takes down Snow. There it is, Jamguchi, the solo player left up for Trident, working his way in. Can't go much further to the east because he knows that Bizarre are here. It's just a case of now being forced to take a fight straight on towards Fury. They hear the vehicles right over the ridge, and Fury actually going to be disengaging here. This could be Jamguchi's saving grace, as Fury going to be heading a bit further into zone. VIP doing a lot of damage over on towards them. Tazzy looking over towards the warehouse wherever possible, but just playing this central dip for the time being. It is going to work out well for them if the circle moves up towards them. Spectral taking the hillside as Jamguchi still trying his best to survive. Bizarre have a bit of a way to go as they head straight in towards Sweet Soul. Barrel spray comes out, not really connecting. Sweet Soul focusing over on towards Heikeman for the time being. Jamguchi down to just 12 HP. The circle is going to do a decent amount of damage. Should be able to pop the heal off just about in time. But still has to be careful because Spectral are right in front of them right here. The southern side, Paradox, they have finally been forced to make that move, but 36 Cartel now going to be looking to try and hold them out. Jamguchi spots Illyrius, but Sweet Soul from range going to be doing some damage. Jamguchi has to go for the shots, but as he stands still, Sweet Soul finishes the job. Leaving Illyrius now as the solo player for Spectral. The nade going to come over in towards Fury. It could be big, but it bounces just a little bit too far. The second one maybe going to do the job, but the players for Fury not going to be over at the vehicles, moving away from them very, very strategically. Insight potentially going to try and grab the top side of this hill right now, as Bizarre as well also going to be playing in towards these dips. Taking a look over at the map, VIP still taking shots down to the south as they will be inside circle. Bliss going to move in from the west. 36 Cartel potentially could pull out a bit of a crash here as they start to head in towards TNG. They will go for the 3-story as TNG are going to be posted up, and all players from 36 Cartel going straight for this 3-story. Maka holding on towards that corner just in case any of these players do decide to push out, but it's not going to be the case. A thrust now, they send it straight in towards VIP. 6 going to be going down. Greg shot in the trade as Maxoris also eliminated. Frozen Snipers out of it, and Beef, the final player left up, finishes off VIP. Should be able to get the res on towards his teammates, provided that 67 don't start making a push. But with Tiger Foam prepping an aid, this could be really unfortunate right here for them. It's going to be close, but a little bit too far to do any significant damage. Paradox also moving in here as Tiger Foam goes down. Subject Nest trying to make a final stand. The barrel spray comes out, takes down Tchaikovsky, wants to do a bit more damage, but there's 2 more players, 21 bullets. It's not going to be enough, as now Jinx, the final player left up from 67, needs to make a push into this, goes for the spray, but just decides to back off of this. It's too late though, as Butts finishes the job. Jinx goes down. 67 out in 11th position, and this has given Thrust the opportunity they needed to get the heals off. It's 36 Cartel. We saw them make the crash in. Maka actually going down to his own Molotov here. Suspect appeared to be caught by the same one, however. Insight. Just a casual little 2K nade on towards Bizarre to wrap that one up. Bliss make the send in towards Team Process, cleaning that one up, with Textile being the only real casualty. Sorry, Textile and Rain being the 2 casualties. My mistake, I didn't see his name there. Cherry opens up on towards 36 Cartel as Illyrius denying to the zone for Spectral. 36 Cartel starting to get a bit more aggressive here. They managed to get a knock on towards Cherry. Maka's going to be knocked as well. Suspect moving in potentially for the flushes here. Is going to be able to connect. There's 1 more kill point for 36 Cartel. 6 overall. Trying to make it 7 as they make the flush connect over on towards Husey. A big knock coming out. Light by design, the solo player left up for TNG. Spots Suspect's head through the smoke. Not going to be able to connect with the shots, however, as he sees the toes. Deciding not to take the shots just yet. Waiting for Suspect to open up a little ball. See exactly where he's going to be. Suspect going for the heal. Light by design. Maybe leaving it a little bit late to take the shots, though, as now 36 Cartel. They managed to land the flashbang. They're going to get into this building sooner rather than later. There it is. They make the push. Down goes Light by design. TNG out in 7th position. Paradox over on the southeast. There's Team Bliss looking out over here. Youngblood's up above. Sweet Soul looking to do a little bit of damage. Rain from range, trying to land something. Sweet Soul gets ready to make the push. The barrel spray comes out. Down goes Textile. Sasama from range, though, steals the kill as I only loot bodies and Sweet Soul both going to be going down now. There's only one player left up. It's going to be Heifer trying to make a final stand, but as the flashes start to come over, it's going to allow Bliss to make the push. But not quite as well as they thought, as Monty going to be going down actually to Sasama. Heifer gets the flush, and there it is. The seat swap coming out from Bryn. 2 players left up here from Team Bliss, but Ronan, he hears these. He's looking to try and get a little bit aggressive on towards this hill. He should be relatively safe from Team Thrust over on the west. So now Ronan just slowly but surely sneaking his way up. Rain gonna be up here. There he is. The spray lands through, but it isn't enough to get the flush on towards it. The knock not really connecting as 36 Cartel also moving in now. Bryn gonna be forced to take the fight on towards this as a nade lands down from Frozen. Sniper takes down Paradox. Down go Paradox in 5th, but Bliss quickly eliminated down in 4th. Ronan trying to make a final stand up against 36 Cartel. It doesn't quite work out as now only 2 teams remaining. It's Thrust and 36 Cartel. We're only in phase 6 here, but huge kills coming out from both squads right now. 13 from 36 Cartel right here. This is absolutely huge. So, 36 Cartel, they want to try and get themselves into position. Sig's going to be doing the same. Frozen Sniper with the SLR wants to try and land something on towards the vehicles. But honestly, when you realize you're at a player disadvantage, it's just a case of taking those quick peeks with the SLR, trying to do a bit of damage, maybe get a knock or 2. But at this point, it's a 2 versus 4 fight. 36 Cartel have the high ground. At least Sigs is in an advantageous position, but depending on this zone, could be rough. It pulls over to the east, so Sigs maybe actually would have been best sticking with Frozen Sniper. It's 36 Cartel getting ready to make the rotate. Sasama here, I think he's just going to go for the seat swap, honestly, at this point. It's a 4 versus 2. You go for those. Sasama sends it up over into the ridge, actually deciding to pull up over here. Nice shots over on towards 6. As now 36 Cartel moving in little by little. Bit by bit, inch by inch. Player 4 spots out 1. Frozen Sniper from range does return the fire with the SLR. Not enough to get the kill, but enough to do significant damage. Sigs is going to be pinned down inside this position. Sasama doing some big work on towards it as Suspect peeks over. It should be relatively easy. There it is. Now 1 player left up. It's going to be Frozen Sniper. Can he make something happen with the DMR, though? As Sasama getting spammed through the smoke. Getting caught from the side angle. Not even bothering to heal at this point, it feels like. Just trying to take a couple shots. Loots the crate. Got himself the MK. If there's a gun that'll allow you to clutch up like this, it's going to be the MK. Takes down Asba as he tries to pull up, and there it is. It's going to be 36 Cartel with a 15-kill chicken dinner to wrap up game number 5 of the evening. Just a reminder for any of you guys who watch a lot of OCE, we are in fact having 6 games this evening as opposed to 5. So we'll be back in just a couple minutes with game number 6. 5 matches, 5 winners. It feels like whenever I cast OCE, we typically see, you know, a couple back-to-back winners coming out. My name is Chunks. I am your caster for the evening as we hop into our final game of the night. It's game number 6. It's all to play for right now. We want to see that top position come contested, but honestly, Fury have it under such control, it'd be surprising to see them lose it. Right now, it's a battle for 2nd, 3rd, and 4th to take the rest of that prize pool. Let's take a look over at the leaderboard, see how things are looking right here. Fury miles ahead in the lead. No chance any team can catch up now with only 1 game remaining. But 36 Cartel, Spectral Gaming, Bizarre, TNG, and even Thrust to a certain extent. 1 big game, it secures them the lion's share of the remaining prize pool. So realistically, we are looking for the 2nd to 4th place teams to see exactly how these prize pools are going to unfold and see who's going to be able to take home the most money. I believe that it's the top 4 teams that take home cash. I may be wrong. I forgot to take notes. So if anyone is aware, please let me know. I believe it's the top 4. It may just be the top 3 though. So just warning there. 1 second. Let me just fix my NDI. I have ordered a new capture card already, so hopefully that will be here in a couple days, so we won't have to mess about with all of this OBS NDI and getting super delayed video coming through. There it is. Here we go. Game number 6. Fury dropping down to the south, deciding not to hot drop on towards 300, which you maybe would have expected, but honestly, by this point, 300 are pretty much out of the prize pool. And it really is just going to come down to these top few teams battling it out for a little bit of cash right here. As, you know, just a reminder, guys, I saw some stuff popping off on Twitter in the break. Just a reminder, this is a community event. This isn't an official PUBG Corp event. This is just, you know, a guy known as Jakey putting in some time, putting in some effort to create an awesome event for the OCE scene, because honestly, there aren't really many opportunities for OCE players to get to compete for a prize pool. So, you know, just a little bit of a buy in the opportunity to win some cash. Huge shout out to Jakey for putting this whole thing on. And you know what? If you're not down with the community events, and don't play in them, because you know what? These guys are doing their best work to try and put things on. So huge shout out to Jakey there. Please make sure to go show him some love. Throw some positive vibes his way. As now, Deja Vu gonna be making a push in for Big J. I only loot bodies. Looting up here. Gonna be hopping out the back as Sweet Soul. Up to the north. Looking to provide a little bit of pressure here. Bodies just chilling behind the wall right now. Hoping for the best. Heifer going to be moving in with the rest of the team. Jonas and Deja Vu still playing the top floor. Not sure whether they've had a chance to clear it all yet. It appears to be the case. Heifer will be moving round to the east inside of Adasia. It looks like Youngbloods do want to try and take the fight on towards this. I only loot bodies, working through. Sweet Soul watching that window just in case. Bodies, keeping an eye out through the window. Smoke is down. It's Big J potentially not expecting a push to come out here. This could be the play for Youngbloods, as Heifer gonna try and hop onto the roof here to get a cheeky little angle. Hops up high. This could end up being pretty huge here. However, for the time being, Big J are just going to be playing the ground floors. Heifer watching out. Really nice teamwork here as Bodies shoots through the window. I think Heifer may be calling out now. They're not upstairs. Jonas playing on the staircase for the time being, or under it, I should say. So the rest of Big J down to the south are going to be moving in for some support. Deja Vu with the barrel. Jonas doing the same. Here comes the push from Youngbloods. They've got themselves a bit of a pinch going on. The barrel shots will come out first. However, Jonas from behind with the micro Uzi. It's not going to be enough. Heifer gets the trade. There's a 2K for Heifer from Youngbloods. Now, Basic and Cold Mo, the two remaining players for Big J. They want to try and pick up some kill points here as Basic starts to make the push in. Throws down a smoke. Let's try and cover him from the side angle, but honestly, Youngbloods right now are just absolutely stacked up in this position. They should be able to heal up. They've had the opportunity to loot a little bit as Heifer taking down Basic. As Basic takes down bodies. Sweet Soul going to be moving around the back, but Heifer with the 4K takes down the entirety of Big J. Out they go in 16th, the rough end for Big J right here, as that's going to be the end of the series for them. Over on the western side, TNG, they start to make their way in here. The seat swap's coming out, but it's going to be Tazzy that lands it on towards Light by Design as Maka getting the trade. Most likely going to go for the run over here, wants to commit to the point, get that extra point now. Light by Design inside the smoke as Greg Shot moving in. Misses the body though. As Maka's posted up, Greg Shot going for the seat swap. It does work out. Down goes Maka. Fury moves in, gets the roadkill on towards Light by Design, and yeah, this is just kind of a meme game for a lot of these teams now. As Textile steals the kill on towards Maka from range. Bliss going to be picking themselves up a point. Two players still here for TNG, however, as they are going to have control of the Wizard Tower. Circle is going to be starting to close now. A lot of teams really at this point not really standing much of a chance of taking home any share of the prize pool. I think the teams that are taking the prize pool are pretty much determined. It's just a question of who gets what placement and exactly how much each team is going to get out of those placements. Strident over on the west will start flexing out, trying to get this high ground here. Not sure whether they realize that TNG are already inside the Wizard building. But Miller and Jamguchi looking like they want to potentially get a little bit aggressive here. Cherry preps himself an aid as Husey watching out. Spray comes out. Husey able to do some decent damage, but the nade's not quite there as Jamguchi tries to return it through the gap in the door. Not really going to be enough from range. 36 Cartel starting to get involved. Jamguchi, the nade comes through. Cherry going to be caught out, but somehow not going down here. Pinned down in the corner, but the second nade does the job. Jamguchi finishing that one up. Husey now the final player left up for TNG. This isn't ideal for them. Voxic gonna get caught out on the seat swap as Via with the 2K seat swap. The org coming out big here. 300. They got nothing to lose and everything to prove, as I mean, realistically, these guys, they don't play in OCE too much, even though half the team is OCE. It's just going to be a case of them trying to show what they're made of and show why they deserve to be in Lobby 1 and, you know, prove themselves. And hopefully we'll see these guys play in OCE a little bit more often in the future. Head kick, he moves in, not really expecting the Wizard Tower to be taken. He's getting flushed out from range. It's going to be Sasama. Picks up the kill on towards that. Neferher throws in the nade down into the bottom floor. And there it is. TNG eliminated. A beautiful placed nade. Neferher going down to Sands as Viha trying to stick the res. But, I mean, shots just coming in from all over the place. Paradox here focusing all their attention on towards this with the Mini 14s, with the SKs. As now, Viha just pinned down behind the smoke, the only real form of cover now. Over on the western side, do see Garfield going for the res on towards Jamguchi as Team Bliss up on the north look like they potentially want to start flexing onto this. Neff has been resed. 36 Cartel and Paradox both going to be looking down on towards this. Is now taking a look over at the overall map. We do see Paradox here are going to be playing down towards Chopsticks. They may have a little bit of a way to go. Insight going to be driving, sending his teammate over as the double seat swap comes out. Down goes Wicco, and Akita followed closely. Waikikamuka with a beautiful 2K. Taking him out. Fury 2 points in our final game already. Thrust should hear this, however. Are they going to try and get aggressive as they do get the high ground? Sniper keeping an eye out just in case here. Endgame down on the south. He's trying to get eyes for VIP. As Thrust do continue to head further down to the south, they want to wrap their way through. Spectral over on the east. As still, 2 players up here for 300. Neff going to try and get that vehicle so they can get over to safety relatively soon. But with Textile and Monty up to the north, they are going to be engaging a couple more shots over on towards this. Neff not really standing a chance getting that vehicle. Trying his best to make the run, but long-range shots coming in from Trident as well. The circle, it is going to donut, so not really too much to worry about. As over on the southeastern side, we do see Thrust opening up. Fury, Flood gets the knock on towards Beef, as Fury actually running straight in towards each other now. Flood getting taken a little bit low as Ronan pulling up at the tree. And honestly, Fury at this point, they have nothing to lose. They can take this fight however they want right here. Cow pulls up over at the tree. Insight wrapping rounds as well. McZor is going for the spray, but Insight with the seat swap takes him down now. Moving back with the rest of his squad. McZor is getting pinned down from Spectral up to the north. They're trying to do the same on towards Insight. So McZor is getting flushed out. Beef going to be bleeding. Waikikamuka with the SLR. Vehicle actually going to flip here for 6. Out it comes. It's not really going to be able to finish it, as now Sig's going to try and hop into something, some form of vehicle, but the back tire's gone. Fury going to look and try and make it one more. Ronan giving chases. I mean, Fury, they're pretty much playing a public match at this point. They've got nothing to lose. They're just going for kills. It doesn't matter about the placement. If they go out, you know, last place, it really doesn't matter right here. They are purely playing for fun at this point. As up to the north, we do see a couple more teams engaging. Thrust here with seat swaps. 2 players in 1 vehicle. Not ideal as Waikikamuka taking some shots over toward it. 6 able to return the fire on towards Cow as he does take him extremely low. Fury, however, not giving up off of this. They should be able to pop the heals, no problem. As now looking over at the circle, it will start closing in. Teams are pretty much already centered up. They don't have too much to worry about. Bliss taking shots up to the north. Over on towards Bazaar. Nothing really landed as Textile gonna pop that boost. Tchaikovsky looking out for 67 as he spots the heads, but he can't quite find the shots. He can't quite thread the needle as such just yet. Over to the north of Chopsticks is 67 with a bit of a split for the time being. Bryn going for the spray on towards Invis. Can he finish it? Doing a bit of damage, but Invis will be able to get away. Auxiliary likely going to be grouping up back in the compound here as Bazaar. Still keeping an eye out off of this position. Taking shots over towards Monty from Team Bliss. Right now, it's just going to be a case playing ever so slowly, waiting for this next circle to pop. As honestly, as we get into the late game, I wouldn't be surprised to see teams trying to make some big plays, but at the same time, it's about teams trying to prove themselves more than anything right here. Proving why they deserve to be in the Tier 1 lobby. Because realistically, the prize pool only goes to the top few teams right here, so it all comes down to pride at this point, showing that you still deserve to be here, even if maybe you weren't performing quite on top form throughout the weekend. As Mirage looking out, down to the south. The circle will pop. It's going to center up, and these are some really boring circles, if I'm being honest with you. I wanted at least 1 milli zone, but it doesn't look like we are going to get one, as 300 still taking shots out of this wizard compound. It is, for the time being, just looking like teams are going to be playing this extremely slow. A lot of the teams going for the placements. Teams that really need it will be, at least, as I mean, honestly, every point counts if you're in that top 3 right now. Just 1 or 2 points could secure you position up the leaderboards. As Monty going for the SLR shots, trying to land something. Sands Spots out 67 as it looks like now. 67 trying to make a push on towards this. Jinx pulls up inside the vehicle. Sand's going to be moving round to the side, but flanking round the other corner right now. Does prep a nade, but gets caught down low. Shots coming out as Youngblood's also going to be rotating in towards this. Shoehorse goes down as Auxiliaries try to make a push on towards VIP. One player left up here. It's going to be Prog Dog, relying on nothing but smokes in this position. We did see Jinx. He's gone down as 67 make the push on towards Paradox. Sans getting eliminated as well as the Molotov lands through, but is out. And now, 67, they got control of this position. Auxiliary's going down. A really high nade bouncing up. Furzy going to be able to take that one out. Youngbloods, however, they haven't really settled on what they're going to take just yet. Driving around out in the open, catching a lot of fire from all sorts of different angles. Bryn with the Mini 14, trying his best to land something here on towards them. Those wooden boards, they just make it so hard to shoot, but he'll still find a headshot on towards one, even if the knock isn't gonna work out. As up on the northern side, Textile starts to open up. Youngbloods, that indecisiveness really showing right now. Unique and Bodies both down. Sweet Soul eliminated as well as Heifer, the final player. Just relying on these smokes for everything that they're worth, but it really isn't ideal in a position like this. Over on the west, Monty taking control of that observatory is going to be taking some fire from Speedy. One more bullet will finish the job, but he should be relatively safe. As Textile moving away. Speedy from range has the SLR, but nothing too much to worry about right here. As the circle is going to start closing in, Bizarre over on the west. Should be relatively safe. Just edging their way in ever so carefully. Textile looking out. Nothing really working out, as now he will hear Bizarre moving through. Has to be cautious as they're still focusing this fight onto Youngbloods maybe a little bit too much. Heifer does get caught with the headshot as now Mirage Flare and Ginto both going to be moving in together to try and pick up some kills. Screwser here as well now. Mirage trying to get the open in. Bizarre takes shots over to the north here and he'll give it all away as now Textile going to be able to take down Speedy K. Out in the open. Team Bliss, they should be aware of this, but they're still focusing up to the north. I'm not sure whether this is the play here. I know there's two pretty easy kills, but with the team sneaking up right over this ridge next to you, you need to refocus your attention. Unique going to be going down now to Fury as VIP start to get involved as well. The sprays will come out. Seat swap attempt coming out here from Bryn as he's going to continue heading in with the buggy. Screwser watching the side angle here. Nades getting ready to land through. Mirage with the spray over on towards Bryn, doing a little bit of damage. Not going to be quite enough as the nade does come through from Screwser. Is it going to be close enough? Not really. It's Bliss. They want to start moving around the side now. They want to take the low angle and get up onto this right here. Nades, flashes, all starting to come through as Ginto has been spotted out. The spray coming out from Textile. He can't quite finish the job on towards it, though. Skinto now trying to make a final stand. Nade landing through, goes prone just in time. More and more utility as Bryn gets ready to peek over the top. Textile coming for the support. Ginto takes down one, but he's traded out quickly. Screwser goes over the top, takes down Textile in return. Rain going to be getting pinned as now Monty getting fire from behind. Unique has been able to sneak up onto this fight and might be getting involved in just a couple seconds. Rain tagged down low. Relying on the smokes for cover as VIP also starting to get involved now. Speedy, the only player down here for Bizarre. It's Unique. Just playing ever so passively for the time being. Rain with the barrel spray, doing some big damage on towards Screwser, but it's not going to be quite enough to finish it off. As Monty also taking a couple shots. They are going to be working together as a team to try and make the push on towards this. Rain is ready, goes for the peek over, almost flushes his own teammate, but there it is. Monty going to be the one to pick up Screwser. Rain trying to get up top, flush on towards Ginto now as Mirage Flare. The only player left up from Bizarre Gaming. Monty going for the heal. Now they both decide to stick the revives. Mirage is ready for this, knows he's going to be getting pushed sooner or later. As down on the southern side, we do see Tridents flexing out on towards Fury. And there it is, the headshot lands through from Monty, finishes off Mirage Flare. Unique still alive right now, but as Trident get involved with Fury, we'll switch over to this fight. 300 still alive in this Wizard Tower, 2 players remaining. Ronan getting caught out in the open jam. Gucci tagged down low as well from Waikika at range. Flood and Cow a little bit far back to provide support for Insight right here. However, he shouldn't really need it. He has himself a ridge to work with. Tiger Foam going to be going down as Endgame gets the knock on towards that. The smokes are up, but with enough spam, enough willpower, VIP, they're going to be able to take down these vehicles, potentially pick up the explosion kill. There's 30 seconds till phase 5 starts to move. VIP need to start thinking about what they're going to do next, because this field is just completely open. It would not shock me to see VIP potentially take the vehicle send in, which appears to be what Greg Shot is going to do. The real question is he going to go for the fight here or just try and take the nade, as he's going to get a bit more aggressive. Starts to prep the nade. It's certainly looking like it could be close, as the vehicles are all going to be pretty low health already. Heikeman takes down Tiger Foam. The nade going to be able to get the flush on towards its subject. Nest taken down extremely low as well, as now the vehicle does blow up. Not going to be able to do quite enough damage to finish off the kills on towards this. Greg going for the sprays on towards the vehicle's subject. Nest trying to get the trade as the flash is coming over. They know where Greg's going to be, but they don't really have much to work off of it, as Greg goes down to Rain now. The 2 remaining players from VIP. I gotta be honest, they're not in a great position. I don't think they've even got vehicles to work with. It all comes down to Endgame trying to open something up with that SKS, as Paradox on the southern side will be getting eliminated. Frozen Sniper still standing for Thrust, however. Viha getting eliminated for 300, as Neferher going to be the final player left up, trying to get the res on towards him. Fury going down to Monty now as he sneaks through, but let's not forget Unique here. He's sneaking up behind, knows that Rain is going to be down below. The spray comes out. There's one more kill point for Youngbloods, taking up to, I believe, 5 overall, but he's quickly eliminated. Down in 10th, no placement points working out there. Frozen Sniper getting spotted as well, as Endgame, the final player left up for VIP, just about inside zone, relying on the vehicles for cover, but look at Bliss just working round up on the northern side, trying to make it in. 67. They know where Spectral are going to be. They're just slightly outside of nade range for the time being, as Endgame finally getting eliminated by Textile. Down go VIP in 8th, and this could be huge right here. Look how close the nade is. It takes down Hilarious and Heikeman extremely low, but it isn't enough to get the knock. The second one takes down Heikeman, but now Xing Xing and Mr. Clay from the side angle return the fire. Heikeman getting flushed out from range right now, as 67 will be going down. Thursday with the Afterlife nade takes down 1. There's Insight pushing on towards Trident here over on the western side. He wants to start getting more aggressive. The nade could be close, but it looks a little bit far for now. It does take Snow down low. Nearly flushes out Jam Gucci as Garfield trying to make a final stand. And there it is. The 2K nade coming out here for Insight as Garfield tries to go for the spray. There it is. Waikika with the AK finishing off Trident as they go down in 6th position. 300. They see this though. 2 remaining players. They're looking to try and get aggressive. Neff already pushing out, but Viha a little bit too busy looting for meds. Will be popping the heal off, but I mean, he's not stopping, even though he is trying his best to heal. With the SKs, there it is. Sasama finishing off Spectral with the grenade. Neferhor with the SLR trying to do some damage, but Waikika going to be going down, as that nade could be close right there. It's very close to Insight, but just rolls a little bit far down the hill. If only it was cooked a little bit earlier. 36 Cartel going to be moving in to grab the bottom of this hill, as now they don't really have to worry too much, except for Team Bliss taking some long-range shots. Not really too much of an issue here. Neferhor going to be pinned down in the ground floor, but Viha pops out with the Org. Big spray on towards Insight right now. Neff popping the heal off, but as the nades will start to move in, he needs to be careful. Fury can't land it on the inside. Insight going to be knocked. Flood going for the res as the Molotov lands. Nade actually beautifully placed on towards Insight. Flood caught on fire, but not too badly. Only a minor fire, you know. He should be able to heal up out of it. But as more utility starts to land through from 300, I'm a little bit surprised that they're not pushing, as Viha may be indicating he wants to now. Suspect goes down, so does Sasama, leaving player 4 as the final player left up here for 36 Cartel, all the way out on the edge of the zone. Team Bliss pushing in. Bryn should be able to flush out these 2 kills without any real problem here. As he does throw in the Molotov, it is going to be a little bit too far. 300, all of their attention for the time being is over on towards Fury. It's now Insight and Flood, the 2 remaining players. Bryn cleans it up. Big kills coming out so far for Team Bliss. Neferhorse still trying to take shots on towards them, but that is now going to give Team Bliss the opportunity to connect, as Fury making a push on towards this. Viha with a nice little headshot. The nade lands through, but it can't quite connect, as Viha able to get out of here in time. Taking some shots under the vehicle in the hopes that maybe it will connect. Bliss just getting more and more zone control for the time being right now. Viha, the final player left up, throws out a flash, but Flood with that M4 just doing so much damage right now. Textile trying his best to survive as player 4 from range, doing some big damage. Viha, the solo player, up against Fury as Flood and Insight take the ground floor. They're going to try and loot out of it, but honestly, 300 have just been using this as their personal loot cave for the time being, so there's not going to be much left in terms of the inside. Viha's still standing inside of the shack. Smokes are down as Insight watching out carefully. Viha getting ready to potentially peek out the window here, just hoping Fury overextend just a little now. So now, Insight, he will be able to finish off the job. There it is. Down go 300. 3 teams remaining as 36 Cartel doing what they can to try and get further into zone. Flood and Insight, the 2 remaining players left up from Fury, as Bliss just slowly but surely getting more and more zone control. 16 kills already right now. This is going to be a pretty big one for them. 36 Cartel from range. Doing what they can. And honestly, they are just so pinned in this position. 2 players left up. It's going to be rough for them. Insight, he tries to move down, but Monty doing some damage. It's Bryn that gets the knock and the flush. Flood, the final player left up, and this is it right now. Realistically, it's between Bliss and 36 Cartel, trying to get as high up in the leaderboards as possible in our final game. See who can secure the largest share of the cash prize, and there it is. Flood goes down. Now it's just a case of Team Bliss trying their best to pin down over on towards 36 Cartel as player 4 going for the SLR spam. It doesn't quite work out. Monty getting ready to peek over the top here on towards 36 Cartel. Will start to move in. Bryn goes down. Player 4, the last one up. Hardly any ammo remaining. Switches over to the 3X, but honestly, I think at this point it's pretty much over, as Bliss, they have his number. They know exactly where he's going to be. Bryn just keeping an eye on the smoke, knowing there's going to be a player around here somewhere. Monty actually getting all the way on top of the hay bale. The MK works out, and there it is. Team Bliss with a 19 kill chicken dinner to wrap up our evening and to wrap up the series. That's going to be a huge one for them. Let's see whether that will really push them up the overall leaderboards, though, is it'll just be a couple minutes until Twire has everything updated. We just got to wait on the PUBG API to make a response, but I got to tell you, I am so excited. I'm going to be sat here refreshing the page for the next 5 minutes straight until that is updated, because wow, what a huge way to end it. A completely open circle. Team Bliss, the team that I've said repeatedly we need to see something big out of, and they maybe haven't performed to the standard that we would have expected. They are going to be able to pick up something in the end game. A 19 kill chicken dinner. It's 29 points in one game. That is absolutely huge right there. But realistically, is it going to be enough? As looking at the leaderboard from the end of last game, Bliss were down in 8th with 63. realistically, I don't think they're going to be able to break the top 4 right here, because Bizarre, Spectral, and 36 Cartel all got into the late game. If I had to guess, 36 Cartel, 94 points. They were in second coming into this. With the game that they had, they should be able to hold on to that second position. Not able to quite overtake Fury, but definitely securing second place in the prize pool. Spectral, however, the same cannot be said for. 92 points coming into this game, with Bizarre just 1 point behind with 81. And just behind Bizarre as well, we have TNG with 88 points. So it's going to be a close one. I am just waiting now for this match result to get updated. Hopefully it won't be too long. Twice's system is pretty fast. It all comes down to how fast the PUBG API is feeling. But I gotta say, an absolutely huge set of games coming out this weekend. Amazing OCE PUBG coming out left, right, and center. There were definitely some games that were maybe a little slower than we would have expected. Maybe expected, you know, a couple teams to have performed a little bit stronger, but it definitely shows the difference in the long format and the short format tournaments. You know, specifically looking at LPL, it's an event that we, if you don't already know, it is kind of a long form event where we have these splits that go on for 5-6 weeks at a time. Whereas OCE PUBG series, it's really condensed. It's 12 games. It is all about making a big performance. And I think that the teams that have these more explosive performances that are maybe hit or miss, they're the ones to keep an eye out for. They're the teams that can get either into the very, very top end of the leaderboard or down at the very, very bottom. You don't have those kind of make-up weeks to be able to account for it. And I think Fury have shown that, you know. They have, at times, struggled in the longer format events, at least in my experience. It looked like in LPL Season 1 for this year that maybe Bliss were going to be able to catch up with them and secure the overall win, because Fury honestly were really struggling in LPL for the first couple weeks. They managed to do pretty well. The second half, not so much. So Bliss, they're not one of those teams that have these super explosive short form events, which is very unfortunate for them. The long form definitely really favors in towards them, but looking over at my screen, it appears that the leaderboards are updated. Let's take a look. See how things are looking. Fury going to be securing that first place with 148 total points. However, 36 Cartel extremely close behind, 105, able to take over there with an absolutely huge final game. Big kills, second place overall. Spectral with 100, taking that third place position, and Team Bliss with 92. I just need to double check the prize pool real quick. I do not have any exact... I'm pretty sure it's the top 4 teams that take away prizes, but you guys are going to have to check. I'm not sure. I'm sure the players know better than I do, but I just want to say congratulations to all the teams that are going to be taking home prizes, but also every team who played. It's been an awesome set of games this weekend. I gotta say, I love OCE PUBG series. It's a community event, and it really shows just how amazing the OCE community is. The OCE community is definitely one that gets neglected at times, but seeing you guys come together and have some amazing games in a community tournament like this, even when there isn't a huge prize pool on the line, it's really awesome, and it really is a very wholesome experience seeing OCE PUBG series running for its 5th season. But that is it for me. That is it for OCE PUBG series. Series 5 is done. Congratulations to Fury for taking the first place, and to every other team for taking part. I hope to see you guys very shortly again. I'll be casting LPL tomorrow, but honestly, I just can't wait for OCE PUBG Series 6. Jakey, we're waiting on you, dude. Announce it ASAP. We can't wait. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining. My name has been Chunks. I appreciate everyone for hanging out, all the follows, all the love. I will see you guys next time.